Hey everybody, Arthur here with another, oh wait, not another unboxing video. This is actually a live video with Plastic Cannibals. And I'm the host today because Shoki's off doing his other thing. And I'm unboxing art. So if you watch my channel, watch my reviews, you should know who I am, I guess. And then I have two other guests with me, and some more should be arriving within a couple minutes. So I'll let everybody introduce themselves.
Okay, I guess I'll go first. Thomas Rice, also known as Rodnus13. I have a YouTube channel over here called Rodnus13 Shelf Space, where I review toys and Gunpla and stuff. I also do a web comic called Who Are You over on Webtoons and Tapas.
All right. It's the boy Tony Towns. I don't really do any YouTube videos, but definitely active in all of the communities out there, helping people find their figs. Mental card for life.
Yeah, he does. He does like his figures super crispy. If there's a dent, anything in the packaging, he just can't stand it. But to sort of give you guys an idea of like what we're going to be talking about is we're going to be talking about really like what our recent pickups were. Normally we'd show them. Their cameras are just not going live. But we basically will talk about what we picked up, and then we'll also be going into talking about the Captain Marvel movie. It probably will be spoiler free because I don't know if they've seen the movie.
I have not.
Okay, so we may not be talking about it at all because you can't have just one person that's seen it. But then we are also going to be talking about Toy Fair 2019 because we were late to the whole talking about the reveals and what we think about them. And so as for, I guess we'll start with hauls. And again, hopefully we got Paul Hughes and Ernest that's going to be joining us a little bit later, hopefully. And yeah, we'll get to see what's going on. I actually got to bring up the chat to see what you guys are doing because I can't see crap. So Thomas, you pick up anything recently?
Let's see. Over the last couple weeks, I picked up. What all did I get? I got the Master Grade Quanta Full Saber off of GameStop. They were doing a massive sale on all their Gundam kits. Unfortunately, none of the GameStops in my town have actually carry Gunpla. So it was an online thing, but I still managed to get it for like half the cost. So that was nice. And then a friend of mine got me another Gundam kit, the Mobile Doll Sarah.
Nice, nice. See, if you had your camera going, we could see it all. So, Tony, what have you been picking up lately, if you were able to? I know you've been sort of grounded on picking up figures lately.
Yeah, I've been in rehab, but I got a couple of things. I got the Target exclusive Captain Marvel. I was able to pick that up. Of course, I found the Mystique everybody's been looking for, so that's pretty dope. Got it for $13.99, and also some friends hooked me up, so I appreciate that. What else did I get? Nate Simmons hooked me up with a couple of figures from the Captain Marvel wave, Grey Gargoyle, and I can't think of the other one, but I know it was two of them that they got for me. I appreciate him so much. But that's basically it. Like I said, I've been really in rehab trying to make sure I get everything straight with all the things I got personally going on. But I'll be back soon, and we'll be able to have them big hauls like I used to have.
Nice, nice. Yeah, can't wait, man. Cannot wait. And then you'll have your like whole man cave and all your figures you've been getting all displayed out. But yeah, that's actually with Nathan Simmons. That's where Shoki is right now. So Shoki was supposed to be in this, but him and I guess Nate's doing a counter interview from when Shoki did an interview with Nate on his channel. I was lost. My pickups, one was actually delivered, a bunch of them was delivered today by you, Tony, which you know. So we're just on the ground. Oh. since I have the camera, I guess I will be, showing. So thanks for, here we go. Got our boy Mike ended up snagging these for us. Nice. And Kevin, if you guys aren't familiar with the DMV group, I'm going to be linking all the groups we talk about, everybody's like YouTube and all that stuff down below. So we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff, and it's going to zip past.
EP just popped in.
Hey, Ernest, we're doing the pickups, man. Hopefully your fever isn't killing you too bad.
Yeah, it's at 100 right now, so it's okay.
And goes any higher, you hit Super Saiyan.
You need to lay down somewhere.
Well, like I told you, man, I've been waiting 2 weeks to talk about this stuff, and of course, it happens right on the night that you guys are planning on doing this stuff. So, don't let me stop you. Please continue.
So, but no, man, you're still looking good for having the crazy fever. Hopefully, you got some tea around you or something like that.
Did. I for sure did.
So we were talking about Mike Dempsey, Hampsey. Why did I say Dempsey? Wow. Mike Hampsey, Kevin Womack from the DMV group were looking out for their, fellow members and local guys. Was able to snag myself a Mystique, and Tony got one from him as well. And Tony was nice enough to deliver it. I got some stuff that Nate hooked me up with that I'm opening. Normally I would do a mail haul video, but I figured I'd save it for this event, I guess. Nate ended up snagging me Yamrog. So now I actually have the whole wave so I can build that Sentry, which I didn't like at first, but when you start looking at the original, going back to that comic where it shows the Kree Sentry and stuff, you can just understand everything with like the simplicity of like the plastic colors and stuff like that. I did get another, Nate picked this one up for me too, Alberto from the new Ninja Turtles. I've never really watched this show, so it's hard for me to really get into like this style of art, I guess. Like the animation's probably fine, but I mean, people are apparently digging it, but they're making like these cool, creepy, crazy creatures. And I mean, this is straight up like from Chuck E. Cheese. This is like nightmare fuel. And then Tony was picking up some stuff he had on hold. There's some other stuff in the box. I'll just show it when I do my reviews. But this one I was really, really excited for. Has the price on it though, but Pan's Labyrinth NECA Ophelia.
Nice.
So cool. That thing is like, it's insane. And it's like the movie is to this day one of my favorite films out there. So I'm glad that NECA's actually making these. And I thought this was the Fawn. So when I told Tony, I was like, Tony, pick this up. I was like, I need the Fawn. He's like, I don't see no Fawn. I see a little girl with these weird little things. And I'm like, that's the one I want too. So I guess the Fawn's not out quite yet. So Ernest, thankfully you kept yourself in the living for right now from the sickness. What have you picked up, man? What's been going on?
Oh man, so I got a handful of stuff. It seems like a lot of the stuff that I picked up, well, not a lot, but a couple of things. I got into a new line, Mafex. So of course, gotta show this guy off. The Spider-Man fig, man, this thing is really dope. I gotta say, out of all the Spider-Man figures that I own currently, this one by far takes the cake. There's still a couple of things that I wish was different about it, but for the most part, is probably my favorite one so far. And that's saying a lot because, I have the Mezco one as well, and the Mezco one is really sick. But as far as a comic accurate one, this one is the way to go. If you're looking for that sort of thing and you don't care about the cloth goods. Speaking of Mezco, I ended up picking this bad boy up from
nice.
Andrew. So if any of you guys are looking to buy some stuff, I definitely would recommend picking up from him and within his group Toy Coat as well. They have a bunch of really cool stuff there. And this one, I wasn't planning on getting because based on all the reviews, I was kind of like, I don't know if I want to drop the money on that. And my price range was, if I could find it for the cost of the Hulk, which was, I think the Hulk went for like $125. I said I'd pick it up, but then, Andrew had it, and it was a little bit, just like $10 more, and I figured it's a great way to support him, and it was close enough, and I really thought that this ended up turning out a lot better than I had originally.
It's made out of stone too, apparently.
Yeah, so like that polystone, so it's definitely got that weight to it, and it has some metal bits in here, and it's definitely true when they say that the articulation is limited for sure, but man, I don't know. I can't even explain it. Like it looks awesome.
It looks crazy. It looks nuts. Like
and your dark side's not going to be doing ninja flips and stuff like that. I mean, it doesn't need crazy articulation.
I do wish it was a little bit bigger, but for the most part, I don't know. I'm definitely happy with it. I'm very pleased with how it turned out. I was expecting it to be just something that was basically a statue with a little bit of posing, kind of like a McFarlane figure. But overall, I don't know. It's more than what I had expected it to be.
It's going to be really short compared to the Storm one, then, huh?
Yeah.
And I also, Ernest, I forgot to mention too, I had him up in my review area. I did as well pick up that Mafex Spidey, and it is a very, very nice figure.
Oh man, all the accessories that came with it, it's more than what you could ever want.
And I sort of like it, and this sort of goes into like everybody probably, if they watch my reviews, I hope whoever's watching watches my reviews. If not, subscribe. But at the end, I always talk about Toyco, tell them check out these Facebook groups and stuff like that. Like this is the Plastic Cannibals. We're a bunch of fellow collectors. We look out for one another, stuff like that. You don't find these groups unless you join in and check them out. And if people suggest it, you check it out. But that Spider-Man, when it was announced, I kid you not, like I didn't even really want a Mafex Spidey. Like I was just like, oh, it has magnets in his hands and feet. And it took me back to like the 90s, 80s. I'm like, oh, those are like those figures that had like magnets in their feet. You could stick them on stuff. And I was like, I'll get a Spider-Man that can do that. That's what I'll do. And then all of a sudden when it launched, the hype just exploded on these figures. And I was really surprised. And, easily any other toy company, distributor, like Toyco, Big Bad Toy Store, they could have jacked their prices up even a little bit more and people would have bought them.
Yeah.
But thanks to Toyco, I had this thing pre-ordered like almost feels like half a year ago, and it was guaranteed ready for me, and it got delivered to my house. And I mean, like that's where these like pre-order groups and toy companies, when they're on Facebook, they're useful to be part of.
Yeah, I've actually switched. I mean, I'm BBTS. I still have a couple of pre-orders through them, but once those are done, all the rest of my stuff is going through him because even in the state of Illinois now, BBTS is charging tax, and tax here is basically like 10%. And I'm like, okay, so if you're buying a $90 figure, that's almost $10, additional on top of shipping. So, but his prices are very fair, and his prices are what they are, so you pay it, and that's including shipping and everything. So I've decided to just completely switch over and get most of my stuff from him moving forward. And like I said, I order it and it's at my door in like a couple days. It's amazing.
Crispy as heck too.
Yeah. So I can't remember. I think the first one I bought from him was the Dark Side, and was really pleased with the service on that. I remember paying him, and then it showed up in my door like the next day. So, and I
all the way from California.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's ridiculous, and he's really honest and really upfront with how he does business, and I really like that about him. One of the other things that I picked up is this Mafex RoboCop, and this thing is really cool, except for which. I think the only other figure that I had that was Mafex before Spider-Man and this, I ended up getting the 3.0 Batman, The Dark Knight Returns. And that one was pretty solid. But this one, for some reason, when I was messing with it the first time, and I bought it secondhand from somebody, and he was selling it at a great price. It was like, I think I bought it like for $50 shipped or something like that. And I want to say it's like 80 or 90 bucks. And the wrist pegs I thought were like super delicate, and I was worried about it, like worried about breaking it. Everything was fine. And the one issue I have with this guy here is that his ankles were a little bit more loose than what I liked. I ended up putting like floor polish on it to stiffen it up. But he ended up, before I did that, ended up toppling over in my display case, and the wrist peg did break. So he's got just like a makeshift piece of tape and stuff on it for right now until I can get a replacement peg. Those things are so darn fragile.
That's what I was noticing with like the Spider-Man. Like, I was surprised they didn't give you extra little pegs.
Yeah, it made me nervous. Like, some of the hands were really tight, and some of them like slid on like it was no problem. So I was like, man, I feel like I'm gonna snap this thing if I put it on wrong. And like I said, sure enough, it just fell over and it landed right on his wrist, and it ended up breaking just enough to where it was just like barely hanging on by a thread. And I tried to glue it, and it ended up just popping right off. So I was like, well, screw it. To get another one, ended up finding this guy at Walgreens when I was looking for the Mystique figures. I didn't know that they were carrying these, and at the time they had clearance on a lot of McFarlane figures. So I got this guy for, I don't remember what their sale was, 13 bucks. I don't know what it was originally running. I think it's like 20 bucks maybe.
Sculpt looks really nice.
Yeah, it looks really good. And there's, the face likeness is pretty good. It's decent. I don't know if you guys see that. The paint is that, but from far away on my shelf, man, this thing looks immaculate. So I'm really curious to see what I think they're doing a Spock on round 2. Is that right? And so I'm really going to get that guy and put him together. I'm really excited about that. So what was it? What is it? Hasbro Pulse. You guys
yes.
know the Hasbro Pulse. So they had that deal where if you just ordered anything from them, then you got the rest of the year free instead of paying the $50 buy-in. That's ridiculous to me, first of all. And so I ended up just buying a Marvel Legends figure to get that deal. And this thing is probably my favorite design for a trooper, because growing up really I was really into the the Scout Trooper look. It was my favorite by far. But then I saw this guy, and he only had like less than 10 minutes of screen time in the Solo movie. But when I saw the figures for this Black Series, I knew I wanted to pick it up. And when I got it, I was really impressed with it. I actually ended up liking it a lot better than I thought I was going to. So now I'm scrounging around in my bins back there to try to find the the black, what's it called? The black speeder bike.
Yeah.
For the Shadow Troopers. I have one of those somewhere in storage. I got to find it, dig it out, and stick this guy on it, even though I know that's not technically the right bike, but he looks so badass that I want to stick him on a bike rather than just have him loose. And then I got a couple of cheaper toys, and I don't know if you guys saw this in the group. I posted about these, and these are like $7 a piece. And they're kind of what you would expect. The animals themselves are just solid plastic. There isn't any real articulation to any of them. But I think what I said is if you're a customizer and you're good at painting, and these things could be really, really sick looking if you were to actually kind of do a wash and repaint a lot of the stuff to actually look real. But for the most part, they're just kind of cheap toys. And I think I'm going to just keep them in my basement for when my friends' kids come over and they want something to play with. These are like the perfect things to give them. I mean, they're $7. You can't expect much from them, but from all the hype, I was thinking they were going to be a little bit cooler, but And then the last thing I got is this bad boy.
What the hell?
What is that?
So this is from a Chinese company that's basically, I want to say they originally started off, and I think they're calling it their own IP, their own but it was kind of like based off of Titanfall meets Acid Rain sort of stuff. And this one is called like the Dual Blades. It's got these two like huge knife things on the back. You can take them off and you can put it in its hands. And the one thing I really like about it is that it has this feature that it's got the opening cockpit, and there's a figure inside of there. It's not quite 1/18 scale. It's smaller than that. I don't know if you guys can see that. There's a
straight up Titanfall.
Yeah, it is very
Cool.
Titanfall. It's got a pilot inside of there, and overall, this thing is, even this little figurine guy has crazy amounts of articulation. I can't remember the name of this company. I think the company is called Joy Toy. It's a Chinese company, and I don't know. I saw it for a really good price. I wasn't going to get into it, but this guy is like super articulated for, I think he's like 2.5 inches tall, something like that.
Oh, so that would make him smaller than a G.I. Joe figure?
Yeah, it's like a lot smaller. I was thinking it was going to be the size of a G.I. Joe figure, and when I got it, I was really surprised to see how tiny he was, but he has basically all the same points of articulation as a G.I. Joe figure. Yeah, overall, this thing is really dope, except for like all the joints are like scary tight. Like when I go to move his leg joints, it's really dope, except for it makes me feel like I'm gonna break his legs or break his arms because it's so tight, and I don't even want to like do it right now because it just sounds like the plastic is gonna break. It's really cool looking, but like I said, it's not really one of the ones that I would want to play with. And it wasn't too expensive. I want to say I got this guy for like, I don't know, like $60 shipped or something like that.
What?
That's so good. For something that big.
Yeah, if you go on,
was not bad at all.
Was it AliExpress or whatever? They have a bunch of these. If you look them up, like I said, Joy Toy, and they have a bunch of different. I mean, they've sort of built a world with a bunch of figurines. They have vehicles. They have other mech suit designs. They have a bunch of little figurines that you can buy in packs, and it's starting to get, I guess, pretty popular because BBTS, I think, has some, but they're really expensive from their side. I don't know if it's just because of the import fees or whatever, but I ended up, like I said, getting it on Ali, and it was really cheap, and I figured, it's probably going to be some piece of junk that comes in, it'll break. And no, it's actually solidly built. It's just scary at how much this thing feels like it's going to break. But it looks awesome, and the paint quality on this thing is ridiculous. I mean, it's got shading, it's got all kinds of weathering. It really is kind of like the Acid Rain figures. It had that, I don't know, weird smell from like Chinese plastic.
Man, that's how you get superpowers.
It's definitely, it made me kind of nervous when I took it out. I was like, oh man, I kind of don't want to handle this thing too much because it's got that weird smell to it. So hopefully but it looks awesome standing on the shelf for sure. But that's really all I got. Oh, and I guess that's one more thing I did get. I didn't end up buying it, but I ended up going on Jay Cochran's channel. He had a giveaway for the Captain Marvel stuff. He had a Captain Marvel box that he got as a promo from Hasbro. They sent him like a box, and I entered in the competition, and I told him that, it'd be great because my girls would love it. And sure enough, I ended up winning that. I don't have any of the figures around. All of that stuff went with my daughter. So I got the package in. They ended up opening it, and they got like their little Barbie doll figures of Captain Marvel and some of the Marvel Legends. And so my girls ended up loving it, and they have it displayed in their room, and they're playing with them the other day. So it makes me happy as a collector dad to see my girls sharing that passion. But they were really psyched to see it because the box came in and they didn't know what it was, and I ended up showing it to them, and they were really psyched to kind of just tear into all these Captain Marvel dolls and things. So it was really cool.
Dope.
Yeah, sorry, my camera totally fell because I was trying to be ridiculous and not really be ridiculous, trying to be effective with the camera and being able to read chat. So I'm like, I'll put my phone in front of this camera, and then it just all fell. And oh, damn. So people were in chat, or maybe still are in chat. And it looks like I just want to give the shout outs to, we got Rob 802 Toy Collector. He joined in. He said popping in to say hey. Aaron Decker in there saying hello. Judson Osgood saying sup. Tattooed Toy Hunter saying what's up. And then I do see Rodimus 13 Shelf Space saying he's going AFK for a moment. We'll be right back.
He's back now. He's back.
I didn't even notice that until now. So yeah, I don't know. Me and Ernest have been talking a lot. Thomas or Tony, I mean, what do you guys have been doing, or what's been on your guys' mind lately?
Like I said, we never got a chance to really talk about the Toy Fair stuff and all the new reveals and everything that's coming out. You know me, I'm a Marvel Legend guy till I die. So seeing all of that goodness made me just want to be able to get everything I can, even though Hasbro's going to kill my wallet for sure this year. But at the same token, it's like all of the reveals I got to have. Everything looks so clean, looks so good. The only thing I'm not too sure about, even though I've seen reveals of it, is the Avengers Wave 2. I don't know what that's going to be like as far as we do know. I don't know if you want to get into it now or, if you have it for the docket for later. But I saw the reveal of the Thanos with the armor all over it, the Build-A-Figure. Did y'all see that?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It looks really good. Even in the blurry picture, it looks good. It looks like him and the Ronin. They look like they're going to be spot on as far as the accuracy and having the effect it has to have. So I'm pretty excited.
Did they confirm that was going to be a Build-A-Figure again, for sure? Or is
it's not confirmed, but if you look at the package in the background, you can see a piece of his arm in there. So I can only assume that's what it's going to be. Because I doubt if they would put him in the package by itself.
Do you think they're going to be shady and re-release it 2 months later in a pack deal with somebody else with better paint apps and another face?
Get the money out the mold, so you know they probably will.
If it'll bring them money, you know they will.
Yeah, but those 2-packs, the 80 years 2-packs, they look so good. The Hulk and the Wolverine, and I just can't wait.
Ernest, is that the ambulance for you? Your fever hit 150.
Oh man.
But I mean, so like on the agenda was just to sort of talk about our pickups, and like Paul was supposed to be jumping in here, but I think he's
been trying. He can't. I don't know. He said something.
No, he's hitting the wrong one.
I don't know. So maybe you can help him out. He's definitely been trying.
But going back to your 80-year Marvel Legends, that the Colossus Juggernaut 2-pack is ridiculous looking.
There he is.
What's up?
Oh Jesus!
Yo.
Paul, I was gonna cry, and I was about to shave off all my hair on my entire body because you weren't in here.
It doesn't work very well. It keeps telling me to download like Hangouts, and I have Hangouts. I'm like, I have it.
You gotta download the cool Hangouts.
Yeah, like the cool
secret Hangouts.
Yeah, we were just
glad you made it in, Big Bag. Glad you made it in. How was your day today? What did you pick up?
What did I pick up?
Yeah.
Most of what I picked up, I didn't even pick up. Ryan picked them up. I got a Mystique. I got Mystique.
Yes.
Ryan found it. I've never seen it until he found it. And then he got me the new Siege Ironhide and Chromia.
Dope.
The Ironhide looks so good.
Oh yeah, yeah. I haven't taken it out yet because I had to work, but
I just watched a review for that Ironhide today, and I was a lot more impressed with it after seeing it like being in hand and with like the chest properly transformed.
Oh, I've seen a bunch of stuff on it. Great.
Is that a deluxe figure or was that a Voyager size?
It's a deluxe. Same size as like Hound and
Okay.
all the new ones, but super G1 looking. And Shoki was saying that he thinks it looks like Cup, the Titans Return Cup, but I don't see it. I think he was talking about the vehicle.
The vehicle mode, yes, yeah. Very, but it's okay because like they look great next to each other.
It's because they're trying to make it like Cybertronian vehicles, and Chromia actually looks like Moonracer.
Okay.
So
Moonracer and Firestar, yeah.
Yeah, and so I mean it's kind of cool. I mean, I can't wait to take them out and mess with them. So.
Let's say I asked you how she looked. She kind of to me almost looked like a retread of I don't remember what line was it, Titan's Return, or I don't remember which line they had where she was in it, and I was like, man, she it looks almost like the exact same figure, just maybe a little bit smaller.
Different head sculpt.
I don't know. I don't recall one that looked like her. But I mean, I could see someone thinking. I mean, she kind of looks like Moonracer, but they have similar heads. Their hands look similar too, but I still think. I mean, still looks cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear that Starscream looks awesome too.
Yeah. Ryan found the Starscream, and he also found the Soundwave.
Oh man!
And of course, Soundwave for himself, and then he offered me the Starscream, and I'm waiting on the Starscream. I'm kind of burnt out on all the Starscreams. They've come out with like 4 in the past like 2 years. And
I don't have a single Starscream yet.
Yeah, that's not even counting the vintage one that Walmart had. So.
Did they have in Wave 2, like they had in Wave 1, like that one figure, the deluxe figure that you can tear apart? Do they have one of those again?
Yeah, it's 6-shot. And so
6-gun.
Oh,
6-gun.
6-gun. That's what it is. Yeah. 6-gun. So and he looks okay. I got Cog, and Cog's fine, but he's like my least favorite so far of the Siege. And I don't know. I'll probably get the Prowl. I know people are bagging on the legs, but
that's the only thing that I was disappointed in, man. Looking at him, it looks okay from the front, but from the back, it just looks even worse. And from the side view too, the one looked really small, and then it's just hollow in the back.
I think he looks better than Skytread. Skytread. I thought his feet looked terrible. I don't like when they just have like the tank tread feet. They look big boaty feet. So, other than that, the only other thing that I've gotten this week was this is for Brandon. I got him one of the Captain Marvel Star Forces, and I found a bunch of Snowtroopers and Obi-Wan Kenobi Black Series at Ross for $2.99.
Yeah, they had some great deals over there for sure.
Yeah, which my Ross is hit or miss. Sometimes it's great, and most of the time it's bad. But I wasn't gonna leave them there. All the boxes were trashed, so I was just like, they're all coming out, so that's fine.
Well, they had I remember, was it last summer? They had the ATSTs. Is that right? The Chicken Walker ones?
Yeah.
They're for $15, and then I just saw them there not too long ago, and they were like $10. And I was like, man, that's awesome. It's even cheaper than what it was before.
Because I found 3, and I got one for Ryan. I have 2 sitting over here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah.
You said no?
He said dope.
Oh, they said no. I was like, what do you say no to Star Wars for?
Star Wars, Small Wars, whatever.
Stargate or nothing.
Man.
Stargate or nothing.
I still need to get a hold of Mace Windu. I really want that figure. And then the General Grievous. Once I realized that I saw a video where his hands, like his arms, connect together and to make his individual arms and stuff. And I was like, that's insane. I thought it was just going to be the 4 arms and, but they actually put the ability to connect them all together.
Yeah, that figure looks really sick. I'm not even really big into the prequel stuff, the figures, but I'm very tempted to pick that one up if I see it.
All the lightsabers he comes with, he has the soft goods, and the cape has like little pouches for each individual like saber to go into. I was like, man, why are they waiting till now to start like putting in that extra love into these figures?
I don't even collect Star Wars, and I was going to purchase it myself.
Well, it just makes me want them to re-release the Obi-Wan Kenobi from that episode 3. I mean, that first one was awful looking. So if they do the new face printing tech and they do a re-release on that, I'd definitely consider getting Grievous for sure, just so I can set him up dueling.
But aren't we getting an Obi-Wan? Like the new, there's the Maul and the Obi-Wan that are being released for the Star. Yeah, that's episode 1.
Yeah,
it's episode 1. They're the episode 3 one though. I bet you'll see it in like archive.
I hope they do it. I mean, I really hope they actually redo all the Lukes. Like the Jedi Luke needs a redo for sure. His face is terrible. The Bespin Luke needs a redo as well.
I honestly, the only one I want to see is Jedi Luke. I really just hope they do a Jedi Luke and give him like
yes.
black hand, everything. Like, I don't really want to see another Bespin Luke, but I'm sure they'll probably do it because it's money.
Yeah, I for sure I'd buy it. But
I'll buy it. I'm dumb. I'll still buy it. But,
do you think that they would do the Jedi Luke with like cloth robes? You know how he has the tunic over or was it the Jabba's palace version?
I hope so. I think they will. I hope at least he comes with a cloak because the last one. Like. I'd like to see soft goods. I'd like to see more soft goods, especially since you've got the face printing technology. You're already willing to do like the Gamorrean Guard where he had a lot of good soft goods. Just go there. Just do it.
Speaking of Star Wars, anybody got any barge regret? Did you get that?
No.
I debated picking that thing up so many times, and I couldn't spend the $500 on it. I mean, seeing everybody get it, it's great. But to me, I'm like, man, one, it wouldn't cost me $500. It'd end up costing me more because I'd want to buy a bunch of. I kind of got out of 3 3/4 for a while, and if I would have picked that up, then I definitely have to go back and buy more figures to put on the barge. And then they have the the skiff that they're going to be releasing soon. So. Yeah. Just more stuff, and I don't have any more space for Star Wars stuff behind me, so I have to figure out where the hell I'm going to put that thing. If I got
Everybody said they're going to make a coffee table out of it.
Yeah, that's a centerpiece, man, where you have those panels off so you can show off the whole interior and the detail that they put into that thing.
It's got a full Jabba in it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I saw it. I actually saw one set up, and it's just. It's stupid. It's stupid ridiculous. It's like the new Snake Mountain they're coming out with for Super 7 for He-Man.
Mm-hmm.
It's stupid. It's huge. It's just like yeah, if I had a gallery, I'd want one, but I don't. I have one room to work with. So
I was watching reviews of it literally yesterday, and my wife was like, what are you watching there? And I said, well, Hasbro ended up releasing this Jabba sail barge for like $500. And the first thing she said was, you didn't get one, did you? I said, I did not. You'll be happy to know that I did not end up pre-ordering one. I told her the only reason why I thought about getting one was to because it's only being made to order for the United States. I said, if I would have bought one, I would have sold it to somebody overseas because they would probably pay a fortune for it. And then I said, well, shipping that thing would probably cost a fortune. So, you know, you'd have to figure out how much would it cost to ship overseas. And then, you know, I don't know how much it would end up going for you to, you know, make a decent profit on it. But even then it's like, you know, all the things that were included as, you know, special things. What was it? The yak face or whatever. I mean, that figure is going for a ridiculous amount by itself. And I'm just like, man, that's awesome. But I don't know. I just didn't have the heart to buy it and go through the hassle. And one, you know, most people got it. I mean, really the people who wanted it got it, right? So you couldn't even really sell it to anybody in the United States because the chances are they probably already have it. So you'd only be selling it to the people that had buyers or that missed out on the pre-order, even though the pre-order was up for like, I don't know, like 2 or 3 months, right? So I don't know. At the same time,
that yak face though is just a different carded one because they're going to release the regular VC carded one just to everybody, so you can still get the figure. Like that's not exclusive.
You just don't want to open that figure though.
Well, I mean, the one you can get, like, unless if you get the sale barge, you just get a different card.
Right.
So
and you wouldn't want to tear that one open, though.
Well, that's the thing, is that I'm sure people did. I'm sure that's the first thing they did was they ripped that thing open. And
did that go up for pre-order somewhere? I thought I saw somewhere.
What was the Hasbro Labs? The Hasbro Labs had a pre-order
for
because they were trying to make, I can't remember if it was like 1,000 of them or whatever it was. It was like a certain amount that they wanted to make. So basically pledging, if they didn't make that mark, you didn't get one, and you just got your money back.
Okay.
So
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many people actually here have seen Captain Marvel, so I'm just gonna skip that. That was we were gonna talk about it because I know Ryan saw it and some others, but yeah, I just won't. We can save that for another time until people actually see it.
We don't have to talk specifics, but I don't see why a lot of people are hating on this movie so bad. Like,
Ryan hates it.
I saw it and I actually enjoyed it. Without getting into details and stuff, but I can at least say that I would rewatch it. I liked it better than Ant-Man and Wasp, the third Iron Man, the first 2 Thors, Venom. Like there's a list of movies that I thought were worse compared to as much hate that this movie has got. So
I haven't seen it yet. Having not seen it now, maybe this will clear up my issue having not seen it. But my big issue with it in general was just the whole Nick Fury thing. So what was it? The very first Avengers movie, you know, he talks about how the game changed whenever Thor showed up because they hadn't really dealt with the issue, you know, something like Thor and Loki and all that stuff. But I'm like, didn't you kind of, based on this movie, didn't you already kind of deal with that cosmic force that, I mean, you dealt with Captain Marvel, so how is
it? Because it's like she left. She didn't stay on Earth.
But still, the fact that they kind of showed up, you would think that kind of a threat where if she's really as powerful as they say, she's more powerful than Thor, it's kind of like, why was he just waiting around until Thor showed up? I mean, he obviously knew that there are beings out there in space that are more powerful than that.
Yeah, maybe he's keeping it a secret though. Maybe the whole point of that was like he didn't want to let on.
Yeah, because he didn't freak out about the Tesseract or anything when he first saw that. So it's like he already knew or already seen that type of technology before. So it could be that type of situation. I don't know.
It's also Nick Fury is like, you know, he's a master spy, master secret.
He could have just straight up lied to people.
Right.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. Like his whole deal was that he was arming up what was it? Captain America found guns. I'm like, dude, guns aren't gonna do anything. Like you're dealing with Captain Marvel, and that's where, like I said, I haven't seen the movie. Maybe it explains it, but it just seemed weird to me that.
Well, I mean, I'm sure there are versions of guns too, like because the one that Coulson has that he uses on Loki, or tries to use on Loki, like, or
the Hydrotech stuff. Yeah,
that like they could have been like kind of like research and development, trying to figure out better versions too.
Yeah,
and also trying to get Stark to make more stuff, and eventually that's basically what they do anyway. Because when Stark just starts coming up with new things to, new weapons,
like Ultron.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the movie though itself, it was entertaining, and I definitely say you should at least check it out. Is it the best Marvel movie out there? I don't think it's the best, but I mean, if I had to rate it, I mean, I'd give it like a 7.5 out of 10. If I had to do
I'll go see it. And whatever. I've already heard a bunch of reviews and stuff. I've watched a bunch of reviews. Some of them were spoiler, but I was
damn.
Like because some people say spoiler and some don't. So
yeah, I'm hoping to check it out sometime this week. For sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a go. We'll see. I was on the. I didn't really like the first Doctor Strange that much either. So, and then the first Captain America wasn't that good to me either. So if it's on par with those, only because I already knew the story. I guess I'm like, come on, let's just get the Captain America. Let's get some fighting going on, and then Red Skull wasn't what I thought he would be, so it kind of let me down. But other than that, I mean, if it's at least on par with them, I'll be okay.
If it's better than Thor: The Dark World, then I'm all right.
That was pretty crappy.
In my opinion, it really was. Like, I went into it with it going to be crap because my wife ended up picking us up tickets because I picked us up tickets to see some other movie that I can't think of. Oh, Alita.
The
Alita Battle Angel, which was amazing. So good.
I heard Alita was really underrated.
It was. And it's sad that a lot of people aren't going to see it to help fund the next movie because they might not even be.
It was okay.
It was entertaining. But either way, she got me the tickets to Captain Marvel. Me and her went and saw it. And I was like going to it. I'm like, crap, this movie's going to suck. Like, I didn't even want to go. I all the stuff on Facebook, social media, everything. I was like, this movie's just going to be trash. Like, somebody compared it to, was it Star Trek Revelation or Resurrection? The one with the weird burn-faced elf guy?
Oh, yeah, it was Insurrection.
Insurrection, my bad. But yeah, somebody compared it to that, and I'm like, oh, crap. But then when I watched it, I was like, wait, these people don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
There was a huge smear campaign about for it, or against, I should say, before the movie even came out. Like, people were hopping on Rotten Tomatoes to just completely bomb its score, and it was awful from what I was hearing. What they were doing.
I don't even know why the movie. I guess I haven't really been paying attention. I didn't realize it was getting so much hate. So,
yeah, I mean, it doesn't help when she goes in and talks about, how the white men not gonna watch. She don't care if the white men watch or whatever. So, I'm like, well, you can't. From the get, I didn't like the pick. Put it like that. I didn't like her as being Captain Marvel.
I just don't like the actress in general.
Yeah, she's very bland.
Just watching her and other stuff. She was in Scott Pilgrim versus the World, and some other stuff, and she's just not a good actress, really.
So the blandness that you're referring to, Tony, in at least if you've seen it based off the trailer, because she's Cree, and they throughout the movie they're talking about how they don't want her to have emotion and blah blah blah. So it's like the trailer did all the straight face stuff, but in the movie she actually has emotion and stuff like that. So it's like the trailer makes her seem a lot more blah than what the movie actually is. And then I understand everybody sort of would love that voluptuous Captain Marvel image instead of a little boy. I mean, there was no voluptuous anything. It was just like, you know, if you took two slices of bologna and nailed it to a piece of wood, that's her butt.
Oh.
But acting wise and stuff like that, the trailer made it seem like she couldn't act. But I think she did good with what the character was and how they were, you know, what was given to her.
I'm gonna go check it out. I mean, I'm gonna go check it out and see what it is. So
I'm still excited to kind of see it for sure. I've always, you know, even the worst Marvel movie, I've still liked it. Okay, you know,
Fantastic Four.
Well, I was talking about for
that is not
Marvel's MCU movie.
Oh, okay. No Ghost Rider.
No. As far as MCU movie, the one I like the least is by far Iron Man 3.
No,
I still liked it.
David
Okay.
Hasselhoff, Nick Fury either. None of that, please.
So Iron Man 3 would have been good if they used the original guy that they were saying was a fake. Why am I having a brain fart on the guy's name?
Oh, Mandarin.
Mandarin, yeah.
Yeah. Well, they did a little short movie where there is a Mandarin and it is Ben King, and they had a look-alike.
Huh.
Look it up. It's I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called like something the King. But it's basically it takes place after. It's because they did a bunch of shorts. They filmed like a bunch of shorts, and I think they're on like special features on some of the Blu-rays. And they did one where there is a Mandarin, but you don't know where he is or what he's doing, and it's Ben, and they have him talk, and it's Ben Kingsley's voice. So,
right.
So basically, the one they show in the movie is supposed to be like the lookalike, but there's an actual one. And
you know, it honestly doesn't matter because we're never gonna get it. At least not in the MCU, especially if rumors are true that Robert Downey Jr. is done after this. So
we're losing Cap and we're losing Iron Man.
Yeah. Well, it's okay. I mean, Cap to me is like, okay, I understand that because he's already got the Falcon and Bucky both lined up. If they want to keep Captain America around, they could easily still have a Captain America movie and just put one of those into the role because they can, at this point, they've been established. And I think one of them could easily take up the mantle of Captain America. So they could still have a Captain America movie that just doesn't have Chris Evans. And I think people would still be on board for that for sure.
I just don't care for them as actors. Like the guy that plays Bucky is just sort of like blah. Like
yeah, I think it would be a dope movie, like the next Captain America movie, if it's the two of them and it's like a buddy cop movie, but then they're doing this thing and neither of them they're trying to figure out who is going to be the one that successes and takes over as Captain America, and you don't really find out till the end who's going to be Captain America. I think that'd be a pretty slick movie.
When you're describing that, I was thinking of like those horrible MTV, like The Challenge, where like. But yeah, I mean, they got to do something. We got to keep it fresh. I mean, I would like them to start leaning towards maybe if they're going to be out, maybe leaning towards like the newer Avengers, get like a Wolverine in, get Spider-Man in, and
well, they could do that. I mean, literally, they could both end up at the end of the movie being Captain America because one right now the Avengers are over the entire United States, but they could do the West Coast and East Coast Avengers at the end if they want to split it up, and then one's Captain America for one and one's the other, or US Agent or whatever that they want to do. They could literally do that, and I'm pretty sure everybody would be on board for that, whatever it is that they end up choosing. So
I'm going to be right back.
That'd be dope.
Because they have a crew big enough. I mean, like if you think about the West Coast, you know, Hawkeye could be out on the West Coast. They have the roster is deep enough that they could literally have an East Coast and a West Coast and, you know, do their own thing.
Well, in the movies, they already have like 2 Avengers locations because there's the Avengers Tower in New York, and then there's that facility where I can't remember where it is, but Ant-Man goes to it in his movie, and that's where Falcon is operating out of, and I think that's where some of the guys go to at the end of Age of Ultron. Was it?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, because Ant-Man's based out of San Francisco, so yeah, he could easily.
And that's where Iron Man took Spider-Man too in Homecoming.
Interesting.
So they could literally do something like that if they wanted to. And like I said, I think people would be on board because what are they going to do at this point in the game when their roster just keeps getting bigger and bigger? You know, they've lost potentially 2, but you know, like I said, Captain America could still be around just in a different form. Iron Man wouldn't surprise me if, you know, they're still going to have War Machine.
Yeah,
so.
and we need some more War Machine. I haven't got enough guns and missiles and stuff being shot off of him yet. I just don't like his robot legs. Let's paralyze him and give him robot legs.
Just make everybody a Skrull and kill off characters that way.
Right. It was all a dream. Spider-Man just wakes up with a boner. But no, so we sort of dabbled about, you know, the movies and stuff like that. But I know Ernest is really hyped and been patiently waiting for months, rocking in a corner in fetal position, waiting for us to talk about Toy Fair 2019. And anybody watching, I know you may not be watching it live. You might be watching it later, but don't kill us. It's just, it takes time to, you know, plan this and line this up. But Ernest, since you were really hyped about it, I'm going to let you start it off, man. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, well, we already kind of talked about some of the Marvel stuff, and I had mentioned earlier the Colossus Juggernaut 2-pack that's coming out. One of the things that I'm really impressed with is, one, they actually, I think, got the color right on the Juggernaut figure this time around, where he's actually more crimson than like the darker red the brownish red. Don't get me wrong, I still think it's awesome, but the fact that he's actually going to be more of that crimson color, I think is really awesome. Plus the damaged face and everything, and the helmet looks so sick. And I think, I can't tell, but the Colossus figure itself also looks like he scales better. Like I can't tell if it's a new body mold, but
he does look bigger.
Yeah.
I think it's new. I think it's new. He does look bigger. He definitely looks more like Colossus.
Yeah.
And it's not going to cost an arm and a leg.
Because I looked at it and I was like, he's almost the same size as when. Well, okay, so when I got the Apocalypse Build-A-Figure, I was like, man, this is the size that Colossus needs to be. Because putting the Apocalypse Build-A-Figure next to Colossus, I think Colossus is a little bit smaller. And then when I saw pictures of the new one, I'm like, man, he looks a lot bigger because he scales better with the Juggernaut. I mean, he's still smaller, but he still looks bigger. So I'm like, I think that's a new mold, and I'm really excited for that for sure. And then they have what was it, the Marvel Legends Rider series stuff. So they have the Captain America. Was it the World War II bike?
Yeah,
it looks tough.
Pretty slick looking. Plus they show the World War II MCU version of Captain America. So I'm like, am I gonna have to buy 2 of those bikes just so each of those Captain Americas could have a motorcycle?
That's like G.I. Joe customs right there.
I know, it's gonna be great for fodder for sure. Well, I have my whole. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I wish they would have made it where you could clamp his shield on the front, some kind of way.
Maybe they do. I don't know. That would be sick. I see they have that little spot in the front for like a rifle or a shotgun, but I don't know. I don't remember seeing an actual weapon that they had. Maybe they'll still give it. I hope so.
Watch them be like, there's a magnet in the shield and in the front of the bike.
Now it's gonna be the same old clip that they give you every time.
The clip that always breaks.
Right.
Yeah, they had the Marvel Legends for sure was killing it. And some of the things, like I said, it kind of bugs me, it rubs me the wrong way, is just the whole re-release. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm excited to get them, but when you already have a figure and you're like, man, I have to just get another one. I
don't want that freaking Loki.
Yeah.
It's a damn Loki. Like, you're really going to do that to us. Like, you have to buy this Loki we already freaking have just to get one more of the, I want to say Black Dwarf, but that's Call Obsidian. What are those guys? I can't think of the name.
The Black Order?
Black Order. There we go.
What's his name?
Corvus.
Corvus, yeah.
Corvus.
But
you need that. You're gonna have to buy it.
Yeah, because it looks so good. And Judd said that the bike that comes with Captain America won't look nearly as cool as the promo shots.
Probably true, but I still want it. I'm not gonna lie, I still want that.
I wish that Juggernaut in that 2-pack though. I wish it had a little bit of a wash, because I really, when they showed those shots, I just really see very. I mean, it's very bright and just plasticky looking. I just hope there's something to it.
And are they like hand-painted prototypes or something?
No,
I think those are ready to go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I still think that Juggernaut's too small.
I mean,
too small
because they're scared to go big.
Well,
that's what I really fear that, or feel that, because of the fact that, I mean, they only redid that one Sentinel as like the Future Day Past or whatever. But like Apocalypse, when they released him, like, I love that Apocalypse. Why couldn't he have been bigger?
It's true.
Yeah. Well,
why don't I hear anything that Tony was saying?
I was muted. Oh.
I saw in the interview with the White Nun where they said that the Build-A-Figures that they have to put in the package, because of the way the packaging is, they only can do up to 11 to 12 inches. So it kind of limits what they can do, because the Juggernaut was such a big figure that he had to be broken up and it couldn't fit in the package the way that they needed it to. That's why they don't do the bigger figures like Think Fang Foam or something like that. So I guess that's why they scale them down a little bit.
I think it's a cop out. They could do better. They could do bigger packaging. They could do you know, do a figure. They could build a figure with double packs with like they were going to do, kind of like with the Stan Lee before they decided to not do it. You could put them in the double packs. You could do double build a figure. You're already paying a premium. You might as well get more bang for your buck. And I think it's just down to money. They just don't want to make big ones. That's fine. It's more plastic, more money.
Well, we'll see what they do with the HasLab, because they also hinted that they would try to do something with the HasLab with Marvel Legends. So we'll see what comes about with that.
Like that crappy Punisher Venom that they did or whatever. Didn't people buy that? Like it was like a special like club thing or something for them to get that Venom Punisher.
Yeah, it was $100 and something just to get the club. Get that. Yeah. I saw someone trying to sell one for like $200.
No, nobody wants that.
No, you can make your own.
Right? When I saw it, I was like, what is this?
You can literally get the current wave Venom and scrape off the paint and repaint it. If you really want. It's the same figure.
And if you aren't good at painting skulls, I'm sure you can find like a vinyl sticker and put it on.
Probably.
But yeah, that's
I'll tell you what though, that Hulk looked amazing though.
Oh, that Hulk's insane.
It does.
That might be the best Hulk they put out. If it does what it,
I still hope he's big. I hope he's bigger.
He looks massive in the package. He looks massive.
He does. So. Yeah, I hope he's bigger than the Hulkbuster. I hope he's taller than the Hulkbuster.
That would be fantastic. I love the torn shirt and like the torn pants and how they have like the flaps, and like I think you can actually remove the shirt off of them.
Yep. Yeah, it looks like it's just draped over his shoulders.
Yep, it's removable. They said it.
I'm actually digging the look of who did they base the Thor and Captain America off of? Was that that art style?
What is his name?
Kirby.
Is that who it was?
It's not. It's Kirby's, but it's somebody else. It's
Is it like Alex Ross? I can't remember who.
Alex
it was.
Ross.
Was it Alex Ross? Okay.
Yep.
I mean, anything Alex Ross does is his artwork's insane.
Yeah, that
agree 100%.
Look really good.
Like, still even this hopping over to the other side. I mean, Kingdom Come was probably my favorite graphic novel, and all that artwork, all hand painted, all that stuff was just insane.
Did you read the Marvel? He did the Marvels comic. Those were.
Haven't seen any of the Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
Like I've seen images, but I haven't seen like the books.
Yeah. He did like Marvels. He did really good like Spider-Man. He's got some really good Spider-Man ones. He did a really good. It's a reflection of I think Green Goblin and Spider-Man's mask. It's pretty good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he had I think might have been Sideshow. Somebody was selling like he had like a signed like art book that he was releasing like a limited quantity of. That was like a hardcover and it had like all his artwork and stuff in it. I almost got it, but I think they wanted like $300 for it.
They'll probably get it too.
Oh yeah,
this stuff goes for a lot of money. I have a friend who owns one of his paintings.
Really?
Yeah, he paid.
Jealous.
He bought it at Emerald City Comic Con.
Nice. He had to give him his firstborn child.
No, he gave him cash, which is even worse.
Yeah, right. I can't even get this much money for my kid. But I mean, what else was shown at that?
So they released images of Mr. Sinister, which I am super stoked about. That was one of the ones I was waiting for.
Oh my
Silver
God.
Samurai, like the whole Nightcrawler. I mean, come on, that Nightcrawler.
That Nightcrawler though, how can you have like the Toy Biz Nightcrawler that has that amazing articulation where you get him all crouched down and stuff, like how he should, like how he positions, and then like Hasbro doesn't even give us that much.
Well,
we don't know yet. We don't know.
Yeah. For a $20 action figure, I mean, come on, you can't really complain, because what's going to happen is once that Wolverine comes out, and then they have the Cyclops too for Mafex, for $100, people are going to be buying and building their teams for $100 a figure. And those things look amazing, by the way. I don't know if you guys have seen those. Those things look so good, but man, I cannot. I don't know. That's a lot. That's a lot of money.
I mean, buying this Spider-Man, I was the same way. I was like, man, I came very close to canceling my pre-order.
But like the posability on it, I mean, aside from the Revoltech one, this one, I think, by far is the best.
But look at that, Ernest. Look at that Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Show me those peg holes.
Which ones?
On his elbows or his knees.
Oh.
He doesn't have any.
Yeah.
Hasbro needs to do that.
Yeah.
Like it makes the figure look so much cleaner. And when I was recording my review of him, I was just like, I didn't notice it until later. I'm like, what the heck? I was like, there's no pinholes at all. And I think it just makes that figure even like look even cleaner.
Yeah. Because it has that whole it's almost like the SH figure where it's, Dragon Ball figure where it slides inside, like the biceps and the forearms are just sleeves that just kind of connect on the inside, right?
Right.
So they can get away without the pinholes and everything on it.
And it has a nice weight to that figure too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's still going back to the Marvel stuff. That Silver Samurai and that Mr. Sinister, like I think Hasbro is enjoying taking giant shits on top of Toy Biz right now, because they did it with the Thing. And if you guys ever watched any of my stuff, I reviewed the Thing, and I told Plastic Addict George Johnson, I was like, there's no way Hasbro is gonna top this Thing. Toy Biz has it in the box. This thing is like in the bag. It's amazing. And I ate my words, because Hasbro is doing such amazing stuff. That Mr. Sinister, that face, I hope we get an alternate head. But if not, that sculpt of the face just freaking blows my mind. And I was like, that's Mr. Sinister.
With that creepy smile.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But I heard he has an alternate head too. So
does he? Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's a straight face. So either way, it's going to work out perfect.
And he's going to look good, because then you can set him up in a nice like cybernetic Jurassic Dio, so you can have him like working on a computer and have Sauron like flying in the background or something.
That'd be cool.
And it's one thing with like the releases too. How do you guys feel about that new Avengers Endgame like 3-pack with like the bunch of different heads? Or the 2-pack. I'm sorry, 2-pack with the bunch of different heads.
I don't mind it, I guess.
Cool. I mean, you can. It's going to give them the
Cool
Steve
for
mobile ability.
Why do you sound like you're talking like on speakerphone in your car, Tony?
I'm in the car. Nobody has to know that.
Well, it's obvious. It sounds like you're getting Taco Bell.
I wish.
So, okay, so now we know Tony's actually in the car. How many? I mean, out of all of us that are here, did who pre-ordered the X-Men wave already?
Me twice.
And I did. I did definitely through Amazon, because when they went live, I was like, that Jubilee. Oh my God!
Yeah,
looks so good. And
that upcoming wave, I was gonna say, basically after this upcoming wave of X-Men figures, there's only a handful that I need to have in my collection. And one of them is Lady Deathstrike. So as soon as she's made, I think my villains will be done, because I'll get that 3-pack of the classic Magneto with Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. That looks really good too.
Scarlet Witch looks so good.
And then there's only a handful of characters that I have left that I need, that I would want in my collection. Now, that being said, it looks like they're definitely moving forward with X Factor and X Force characters, which is really cool. So all the fans that are into that for sure will be able to build their teams.
The Cannibals is terrible.
I think isn't it supposed to come with like
no.
an alternate lower half? No?
No legs.
He has no legs.
And his cannonball effect is wrong too.
Yeah. It's like this weird fire effect that's a stand. Kind of like MODOK. And he's got no legs. And there's no and it's like, I don't know, I think it's kind of a ripoff.
Yeah, because and how they have it, they make it look like his upper torso is like shooting the rocket part out of his torso, which is usually not the case. Like it actually thins out, and it's like there's no room for his legs. So if he's supposed to have legs when he's doing that, there's no room for his legs to technically be in that effect that they provide.
And the flame, his power covers his whole body too.
Right.
So he basically looks like a fireball.
Yep.
So I don't know. I saw it, and also you can pretty much have him. You can only have him. He only looks like you can either have him looking up or looking straight down, but he's just going straight up.
I hope they give him legs. I hope some kind of way they give him legs to go with that, because that's kind of a waste.
You never know. They may. They did that with what is it? Apocalypse's clampy hand.
Oh, yeah. You gotta buy a separate figure to get legs. That'd be like getting Professor X and like you have to buy a second figure to get his wheelchair.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy.
I think down the line they'll probably do like another version of him, and he'll have legs, a leg to like peg in or whatever.
I still need to get a hold of the Blob.
Well, why? Why would you do that? Because eventually he'll be coming.
Yeah, he is going to be coming, and then I was like, everybody has the Blob build a figure. I'm like, man, I don't have it, but then it's like they will make a new one, and it probably would be a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. It's like it's one of those things. Is it going to be like the Beast? Because I still feel like the new Beast coming out. I don't know if it's one of those things where you're like, I'm going to be weighing out those two, like Toy Biz, Hasbro, Beast.
That was how I did the whole Marvel Select Juggernaut versus the Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure Juggernaut. And one definitely looks better than the other, in my opinion. But one is definitely way more posable than the other one.
Right.
So, if you're looking for a shelf queen, there's one that I would pick over the other. But if you're wanting one to actually pose up and have the mobility and all that stuff, the Marvel Legends one takes the cake for sure.
I just hope, I wanted them to release, and they'll probably do this months down the road, you got to buy this figure to get his head. I just wanted him to have like an alternate head with his like bifocals or whatever, like his glasses or something like that, or maybe even give us like a soft goods like lab coat or something, or a rubber lab coat
when they re-release it in a 2-pack.
Right. It'd be like a 3-pack. It'll have like Gambit, Rogue, Magneto, just like they did with Toy Biz.
Oh man, that's the thing. Like seriously, all the stuff that people will complain about, when they do the re-release, because it's eventually going to happen, because that's sort of their MO right now, is that they'll wait and they'll do it better the next time. After everybody's already spent the money on the first time, they'll get them again. So.
But that's a good MO. Like, it sucks for us as consumers because we're having to spend money on the stuff, but it's awesome that a company is actually listening to people complain about their product enough to where they're going to fix it or find a way to fix it and make it better.
Sure.
Look at what they did with Phoenix.
Yeah.
Who was happy with Celine Dion? I sure as hell wasn't. And then they released the Cyclops Dark Phoenix 2-pack and solved everything.
And that Cyclops was awesome. Cyclops in that 2-pack is awesome.
Yeah.
I actually.
What do you guys think about the classic color, the white and blue one that they're releasing?
Oh yeah, the X-Force or X-Factor. Mm-hmm. That's like the first appearance of Apocalypse type style.
Yep.
I kind of hope they make an Angel.
What are the 6 that's coming in the vintage wave?
Silver Samurai, Thor, Captain America. Who are we just talking about?
They released 2 Thors?
Isn't it just the one? Isn't it the Alex Ross is a vintage, isn't he?
No, I think that's a single carded figure. That and the Iron Man.
Those are like those are the ones that are going to be like the Marvel 80.
Like Red Skull and
Oh, okay.
80 year. It's called I think they're Marvel 80th anniversary or 80 year or whatever.
Yeah.
And no, the vintage card, the next vintage wave is all X-Men. And it's Mr. Sinister and there's a Wolverine and there's Cyclops and there's Silver Samurai but it's the old I actually have one of the cards that it'll look like.
I just want to say I love the Toy Biz style packaging.
Oh yeah,
that's dope.
Yeah, it's gonna be packaged just like this. That's why I can't wait for the Sinister so I can put him next to this one.
Yeah, but are they doing the vintage wave and then a regular release?
I think Sinister is only in the vintage wave. I thought.
Is he? Okay.
The Silver Samurai, because the Silver Samurai I think is only in the vintage wave too, and I think those were like 2 of the new ones. Like the other ones were going to be other like body folds, like repaints and stuff.
I think Sinister may be in the wave. I think he may be in the wave, and I do. Silver Samurai is in the vintage wave for sure. I think Sinister will be in the actual X-Men wave. I think the second wave.
Okay.
Because
I get a Sinister. I just.
I know, but see, so like when they did that with Wolverine, right? The brown costume Wolverine, he was in the wave, but then they changed his color where he's a lighter brown and he's actually a little bit more accurate. He's like that reddish brown versus that super dark brown.
Right.
When he was in the vintage. So I'm like, are they going to do the same thing with Sinister where there's going to be 2 color options that you could get of him? Then I don't know, because double dipping on the figure. He
had the black boots, and I from what I recall, he was always all blue. So maybe, I'm not sure.
If they do 2 versions with 2 different colors, I'm probably still going to buy both because I love.
Yeah. Sure. Well, that's where like if you look at the figure that you just had out, like compared to the ones that they showed, he seemed really dark. So it wouldn't surprise me if they do like a lighter, more bluish metallic, whatever, for the vintage wave to kind of match that.
I bet one's going to look close to Apocalypse, like that kind of shiny, because he made him. I mean, he made Sinister, so same technology.
You want to know what wave I want them to do? Like really bad? Age of Apocalypse.
Yes.
That could be cool.
I mean, they weren't good, but they've done them.
Yeah, I have a mint on card Apocalypse in one of my detoffs. Like, and I have a bunch of the loose ones too. Like I love the design of the Magneto from that, and I just love the whole
The Sabretooth.
Wolverine. Yeah, it was weird. Sabretooth with Wild Child on a chain. Like what the hell? But I just love that story. Like Wolverine blows his hand off by stabbing Cyclops in the eyeball. Like that's so cool.
Yeah, that's my favorite. That's probably one of my favorite all-time like story arcs.
And the Magneto look was awesome, and it just like give you. Yeah. See, I can't see if we're doing like all the X-Force and stuff like that. We're going to be getting a Sunspot going from Sunfire to Sunspot, but we're going to be getting a Sunspot. And I loved the Toy Biz, like old school Toy Biz, like Sunspot. How it was just like the skin was just all black, and they just looked so good. And I can't wait for it to be made by Hasbro. Hasbro decides to keep going with all that.
Well, they're making Boom Boom, and they're making Cannonball, and they're making
Dazzler.
Oh yeah, the classic Dazzler.
Yeah.
We should have got.
There's already Polaris, so I'm wondering if they're.
Yeah, the classic Dazzler is going to be in the vintage wave. That's the other one.
Did I see they're making a Forge too? Is Forge coming out or?
Forge is part of the X-Men wave.
Oh, okay.
X-Men wave. Yeah. So you're gonna need the X-Men wave just to fill out your teams and everything that you have.
Yeah, man. When are they gonna re-release a Strife? I need a new one of that.
Right, I need a Strife.
The original. He's bigger though.
So one thing, since we were talking about like what they could come out with too, like I started, we're reviewing this wave and getting Kingpin parts all out, and in hand, like I can see that being used for a Mr. Fix-It.
Oh, sweet! That would be cool.
That would be super cool.
Definitely.
That's Grey Hulk, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we got the patch head.
Yeah, but you just need the suit in that scale.
So give us the suit. Maybe you can buy like Mr. Fix-It and give him some cool accessories, and then just have a body for that patch head.
Yeah.
Speaking of Marvel Legends, what do you guys think of the switching over from X-Men to Spider-Man, the Hydro Man? Did you see those new parts?
Oh, the
Hydro Man is bananas. Oh my god.
It looks awesome. He does have like
it just came off the comic book. I swear to God.
He sort of reminds me. His face looks like Toad from the X-Men cartoon when they're in school.
Look up Hydro Man, Todd McFarlane artwork, and that's what exactly it looks like.
Really? Huh.
Yeah, it looks like Todd McFarlane's Hydro Man. He did when he was doing the run right around the time that Venom came about.
Now, is Hydro Man coming with just like the regular swap out arms, or is he just going to have the water effect arms?
I think he's going to have regular arms and the water effects.
See, I don't know why they couldn't do that with Cannonball.
Right.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, you're definitely right, Paul.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. If they, like I said, with Cannonball, they may do legs, or they may re-release the figure. Who knows? But I can't see him just doing that and just leaving it at that.
Yeah. What do you think about that Scorpion?
I hate it.
I think they could have done better. The Scorpion could have been better.
It's cool, but everybody going crazy over the bendy tail. You can't. Everybody want bendy wire. There you go. You have the bendy tail.
Yeah. See, I don't care about that. The biggest thing that bothers me the most out of that figure is like I don't like how his mouth is green. And I know that's how some of his designs are and stuff. I wish they would have just painted his mouth flesh tone.
Yeah, it's the classic one, right?
Yeah, I mean they did that with
the early 60s one, I think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, they do that though, because like if you look at the lizard, there was a lot of people that weren't happy with the lizard's face.
They say he looked like a dinosaur.
He does, but it's still a good figure.
Still a good figure.
It does. It looks like a lizard too. I mean, I can't be mad at it.
But my favorite Scorpion figure was the Toy Biz one that came with like this Scorpion net thing. The tail would open up and be a net, and like it could catch Spider-Man. He had a bendy wire and stuff. He had crazy Like, he didn't have like super good articulation, but his design and everything was just it was probably my favorite Scorpion. I used to have him. I picked him up, and like that old school Toy Biz like demo Goblin with like the glider and the hood can come off and all that stuff. But that Scorpion, to this day, I was hoping that they were actually going to sort of base it off of that look or that design.
I wanted to see a big, like, hulking Scorpion, not kind of just like. Again, I think like because I wanted like the animated series Scorpion, where he is bigger, like he's imposing by his size, and I don't think the one that they made. I just think it could have been better.
Paul,
well, that's where
everything bigger for Paul.
Yeah, he's a villain. He's supposed to be exaggerated bigger, you know.
I agree with that. I think the villains should be bigger than the heroes. They should always be more imposing. I always thought that. So,
like except for Kraven, I like how Kraven is kind of almost the same size as Spider-Man, like a little bit buffer, but he's kind of, he's not like taller necessarily.
I like that new 2-pack of him. He looks way better.
Yeah,
that thing sold out fast. Good Lord.
Yeah, that's because
I looked on Target. It was
the Kraven figure is kind of like a chameleon, where like no one cared about it when it came out, and then all of a sudden, like it stuck around for a little bit, and then all of a sudden everybody freaked out about it. Kind of like Rogue. I used to see Rogue everywhere. Like and now it's like I've seen people selling Rogue for like $80, and it makes no sense because it was like that was a peg warmer. But
it's because Mystique with the alternate head now. People want to go back and collect it.
Yeah,
but that Rogue was a good Rogue, though.
It was a good Rogue. It's good. Even the Kitty Pryde that was in that wave. Like I used to see her everywhere. Now she's not around, and I bet a bunch of people are probably going to start freaking out about her.
Do you think it's mainly because they're female characters? Like, I don't mean to go that type of route, but I mean, do you feel like maybe parents aren't letting their kids buy female action figures?
It's actually been proven that in general, female action figures always sell worse than male. So I don't know. I mean,
because I see a ton of like Domino, Gwenpools, still peg warming.
I didn't think Gwenpool was going to be peg warming as bad as it is.
I think they just made too many of her.
Yeah. Watch in 5 years though, everybody's going to be like, "Oh, you have a Gwenpool?"
No, they'll re-release it in like
believe it or not, that's how Pizza Spidey was. It peg warmed terribly. Nobody wanted Pizza Spidey. Next thing you know, it was gone. Everybody wanted it.
Nobody wants it now.
Now it sells for like $80, $70, $60. It's ridiculous.
I bought one last year for $22.
Because they're fleshing out his rogues gallery, though. So, like, people want to go in and get, the Spider-Man to go with it.
But you don't need another Spider-Man once you have this Spider-Man.
Well, that's the thing. If you're going to spend, $80 to $100, you might as well get that version of it.
Everybody can't afford that Spider, so we have to settle for what we have.
I mean, Pizza Spidey for what he is, is not a bad figure, except like the hips and his extra long abs. Like if you shrunk him down a little bit, fixed his weird hips and stuff, it's still a good figure. Like,
I still have mine, and I really like it. It's just the proportions, in my opinion, are way better on the other version. That Mayfix version. It just overall looks better, and it functions better too for the most part. There's a lot of classic Spider-Man poses you can do that you can't do with that Marvel Legends figure.
Well, it also helps that we actually got web effects with this Spider-Man. We don't really get web effects with Spider-Man figures from Hasbro. Something very easy that they could do. They probably have excess plastic laying on the ground that they could just scoop up and toss into a box and be like, they look like web effects. It'll work.
Yeah.
But
so what do y'all think about the first Avengers wave with Beta Ray Bill and them in there?
I want to be.
That looks pretty slick. Yeah. Even though it's not the classic look, I still think it looks awesome. I want one for sure.
It holds up pretty good.
That Beta Ray looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I've been screaming for a Beta Ray for the past couple of years. Like, why don't you have I don't want another Thor. I want a Beta Ray.
Yeah, it looks good. I mean, that's for compared to like the Toy Biz one, like it's definitely good.
The Toy Biz one is still pretty good though. I ain't go for
it. Has a baby hammer though.
Yeah. It has its issues, but it's pretty good. And then that's the way the guy has Living Laser in there too, right?
Yeah, and what is it?
Nighthawk.
Nighthawk doesn't interest me. I just don't like the look of it. I don't like the look of that suit or anything.
I just like whenever we get new characters, I'm cool with it. But I agree with that sentiment though.
I like deep cut characters though. Living Laser is great. I'd like to see a living Monolith if they would actually do that, or a full on Shadow King, not just a Shadow King head.
Yeah, that would be dope.
Like him in his actual like psychic form would be cool, or doing like Tusk or some of the other Dark Riders from X-Men. I like a lot of the deep cut characters, like the ones that play back some of the stuff that you just don't see anymore.
What do you guys think of that Loki in that wave?
Trash. It's a big pile of poop.
You gotta have them.
No, you don't.
You do.
It has painted on scales. It looks like crap.
Yeah,
it probably would look like more crap if the scales was sculpted. To be perfectly honest. Yeah, it would look terrible.
No, it wouldn't. Look at Black Knight. Look at Hobgoblin and
I'm fine with
Green Goblin.
I'm good. Those are people who wear those types of suits. I'm fine with the Loki. It looks good. It looks just like the comic book.
He has no boot sculpt. I think those are painted on calves too. Like I don't think the only thing that's like new sculpted is I think his head.
I wish he had a cloak, like a fur cloak.
let it give him something that'll cover that ugly ass body.
That head alone is worth the money. Do you see that smirk on that head? Like that head sculpt alone is beautiful.
What with his Kraft macaroni and cheese helmet?
Yeah, that smirk is nasty.
I wish that they would just stop with the butterfly. I mean, they have molds that have the whole butterfly articulation. Why don't they just use that moving forward? I don't know why they keep using older style body molds when they're clearly, I don't know.
It's cheaper. They use the shit.
They're going to have to pay that one extra person to connect in the butterflies.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, it's going to be $25 for that figure now.
I don't know. I don't know if Ryan was here. We could ask him why his sweatshop's not pumping him.
Look at the basement. Did y'all see the Julia Carpenter? She looks pretty good too. That was a surprise to me.
Which one?
The Spider Woman.
Oh yeah.
I didn't expect that.
I'm getting spider fatigue a little bit. I'm getting
right.
I same with Iron Man and Thor. Like I think they just I understand why they go back to the well on the what sells figures, but tired of it.
Same thing with like Optimus Prime and Megatron and Starscream on any wave of whatever. They always have to release those because those are the ones that people buy.
Same thing. Star Wars too.
Yep, the Star Wars too. Wait till the new DC figures start coming out, and you'll get 1,000 Batmans again. It's gonna be all Batman.
I mean, they need to because some of those Batmans that were released were just utter shit. Like, there's a lot of the DC Batmans, like that Gaslight. The Gaslight Anthem Batman, is that what it is?
Gotham by Gaslight.
Yeah. Like his that figure was so good, and then you look at the face sculpt and you're like, what the happened to you?
I like mine. I actually bought that one because I liked it. Like Multiverse used to just be absolute garbage to me, but there's some new ones that I actually do like. The new Bizarro is great too.
Yeah, that's really good. I need to get a hold of the Batman Beyond. I had somebody which
So
he got it for me, but I don't. He said it was 8. His dog ate the package and bit up the figure a little bit. Little part of me, I'm like, man, he probably ended up like selling it or giving it to somebody else that was like more closer of a friend than him. But I was like, because I was like PayPal ready. I kept saying like, hey, just let me know. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. And he's like, yeah, I got it packed up and all this stuff. And then he said his dog got to the package, but I thought the package was the only thing that was damaged. But he said that the figure got damaged too. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I've yet to see that wave in the wild, yet alone freaking Batman Beyond.
it was here. It actually showed up in our area, and some dude bought all of them and put it on OfferUp for like 3 times the price.
Did you offer it and then go beat his ass?
No, apparently Ryan knows who the guy is, but I just threw my hands up and went whatever. I'm going to Comic-Con soon. Hopefully someone's gonna have it there, and I'm just gonna beat him up on price face to face.
For sure. Yep.
Beat him up on price on 2 of them.
I am very curious to see how McFarlane is going to approach all those DC characters. I ended up getting, was it the Fortnite, one of the Fortnite figures, Drift, and I haven't actually opened him yet, but he looks really good. And people that I've seen review those Fortnite figures have talked about how it's the step in the right direction, at least for McFarlane. So,
yeah, he's trying to get back in the game. He's missing the late 90s, early 2000s money.
Dude, a 22-point articulation Spawn figure.
He's gonna make all new, like everything in the new articulation. He's making a Punch Man. He's making
Naruto.
Yep. He's making a bunch of new figures that are all gonna have the new articulation.
Yeah, he even got the Mortal Kombat license, so I want to see what he's gonna do with that too.
My loyalties with Storm.
Absolutely.
That Baraka, good lord.
and I remember when Storm first came out, people were talking trash like, should I be buying Storm or should I be buying SH Figure Arts, whatever? And I said to my friends, I said, look, Figure Arts does have the better posability, but if you're talking about lines in general, Storm has announced that they have all these different fighting game lines that are all going to scale perfectly together, and the aesthetic is all going to match each other. And I told him, I was like, that's, if you're going to get into a line, that's the one that you need to put your money into. Well, people still wanted to get those SH Figure Arts, which they're great, except for they don't look like the art style I think that what they're trying to represent. They all look sort of anime-like to me.
And Ryu's too scrawny. And but with that, it's like, yeah, a lot of people did dog on Storm, and they're like, what are these guys? Just like in Anthony Customs was one of them that did that. He was just like, oh, Storm starts ripping him a new one, and then all of a sudden he starts getting sent free Storm figures, and then he's all about, oh, they're amazing.
Doesn't he rip on everything though?
He does, man. Like I joined him on one of his. He was playing PUBG. Like he does gaming stuff live.
Yeah.
And he's just a cynical jerk. Like I was like talking to him like he got killed, and I was like, well, the guy's right here. You'd hear, if you had some headphones or something. Like I said, Turtle Beach. And he's like, oh, well, if you're gonna talk about Turtle Beach, he's like, those aren't even high-end headphones. I was like, just giving a suggestion, like wear some headphones so you can hear the people around you. And then like I was telling him like he was killing people, and if you ever play PUBG on the console, you hit like tap left trigger and it goes into like the scope or the iron sight. He would never do that. He was holding down the trigger and he was shooting it that way. I was like, well, if you do this, it'll be better. He's like, oh no, it's the same. I'm like, whatever, dude. You're just like your damn reviews.
How dare you?
Hey, I mean, it's I still watch his reviews though, because I just sort of chuckle at some of the shit he complains about. And then it's like he's this sculptor artist guy and goes in and he's making these figures, and I'm like, man, you're sculpting. I mean, I hope when you release them that these things are gonna like crap on everything you review because you're making it. And he gives everything a hard time, all the figures and all the stuff he reviews.
Ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I saw his top 10 for last year, and I was just like,
yeah.
Where he basically was just like, yeah, I guess I'll do a top 10 Marvel Legends. They're mostly crap. Like, he was just like, I don't care. Everything sucks.
I mean, maybe he's battling depression. Takes it out on his toys. I hate my life. Fuck you, Iron Man. You're a horrible sculpt.
So, is it any other releases or anything y'all want to talk about that came out this week or whatever? Mezco, whatever.
Did anybody get those turtle sets?
I haven't seen them in my area. Of course, the biggest issue with me and NECA right now is that whoever they have distributing or what's it called, their NECA rep or whatever in my area hasn't been putting anything out since before December. So either the rep is no longer in my area or they just don't care to restock. So I haven't seen anything new NECA wise since like right before Christmas.
I just saw the turtle sets and I got one for Ryan. But I haven't seen like our Kent Target. It sucks. It's like there's someone who just like must camp out and just buys everything like as it goes on the shelf.
Probably have some inside guy.
Probably, and so that's why I grabbed the one I did because no one's finding the turtle sets up here except for I think Brandon found a set and then that I told him about, and then I grabbed one for Ryan. So, and I'm not spending that kind of money on all four. I have the movie ones, so
I thankfully was able to get them during San Diego Comic-Con on the second day that they threw them up on their website. So I got the classic like little carrying case and all that stuff, but the figures are very, very good. Like the set for having to have NECA mail you a whole set of heads to replace because all of them are cross-eyed or looking in weird directions. And I still have yet to change the heads because they're so difficult to pop off.
Yeah, I was surprised with the 2-pack re-releases that they're still having quality control issues on them. Like I've seen people posting pictures of Donatello with Michelangelo's belt buckle thing on it. I'm like, really? Or even with the movie versions getting packed in the wrong cases, so you get a Raphael and a Leonardo box or something like that. So,
and you know what? Like if you're on Twitter and you're following like NECA and stuff, they're quick to post stuff or like be respond to stuff or be like sort of smart asses about stuff. But it's like, man, you're doing this to probably cut costs. Like you probably went a cheaper route of manufacturing, and you can tell with their figures.
Well, NECA figures in general are kind of made of glass anyway, so they kind of took the crown from McFarlane on that one, and so like that's why I love the look of them, but I buy so little NECA just because it can't guarantee any of it.
I still got to get Ultimate Leatherface though. Definitely do. But the Gremlins, both my Gremlins, I got the one I won from like Collector Zone, the Spike one. Like the legs were still like messed up, which is crazy. Like I didn't expect. Like all right, I got the first one that had like the movie theater stuff that had leg issues, and then I got this other one, and that still has leg issues. Like their joints and stuff are all just messed up.
Wow.
Hey guys, I think I need to get going, so I'll talk to you guys later, I guess.
All right,
Thanks
man.
for having me on.
Take it easy. Have a good night.
Ron, have a good one, man.
I feel like
I saw you messing with one of your Siege figures. Are you super psyched for what they showed at Toy Fair for Siege?
Yeah, I pulled out Ironhide, and he's badass actually.
that gun he comes with looks so good.
Oh, it's really good, and you can tell like, and you can move it like in different. It's got like different peg holes, so you can put it in different positions. Because their whole thing is that, like, you know, to weaponize, so it's got all the different ports, so you could put guns in all different spots. You know, take apart COG and make them into basically guns. So that's I think I love these things compared. I mean, they make Power of the Primes look like garbage, and I actually like some of the Power of the Primes that I got.
Right.
That Jetfire and Omega Supreme looked. Oh my god. If I collect the Transformers, I'll be all over that.
I'm gonna get the Jetfire. I don't know about the Omega Supreme. Probably not. It's just too big. It's like I don't really need it, and I don't really like the look of it. Like I don't like any of his modes. Like even his bot mode's not even that great to me. Looks just kind of weird to me. So it was not something that I was really into when I was a kid, and now I'm just like whatever. But the Jetfire looks awesome, and the Mirage looks really good. So there's some good stuff coming, and my wallet's probably not going to be happy. But
Hasbro just ruling the floor of that Toy Fair for sure.
Oh, definitely.
I think they got all their brand managers on the same page for all of their lines. I think they kind of are in touch with, even though they're making toys for kids, I think they realize that it's for collectors. So,
well, and also like look at third party for bots anyway. Third party is just destroying it. Like they gotta do something to catch up.
Mm-hmm.
When the knockoffs are way better, you know, it's there you go.
I was able to get all of these, you know, for crazy cheap, you know.
What did it end up running it?
I was able to get this and like Soundwave for like $70. Nice. And all you have to do is buy like a sticker pack from a site that like Nate Simmons showed me. And they actually have it where it's for the tapes and Soundwave to make them, you know, a little bit more, have the G1 stickers and stuff on them. And I'm like, holy crap, like I couldn't find like a good, reasonably priced Soundwave. So I had to go this route.
Yeah. But that's the only way. They're going to have to come up with something to either like Takara or Tomy and Hasbro. They're going to have to come up with something because all the knockoffs and all the third party stuff, man, it's just going to overtake them.
Well, their version 3 Optimus, man, that price point alone,
yeah,
ridiculous.
Never, especially not for another Optimus.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you know I wasn't the only one, but in the group, but I ended up buying both of the two. Was it Magic Square and was it THS? Who was the other one? I can't remember. Transform Element. I bought both of those for cheaper than what I, for the what the official will end up being. Granted, the official will have like the trailer and everything, but I don't know.
I ended up getting this guy too for a third party.
That's nice.
And like they fixed the biggest issue. It's like this flap actually folds up. The original one has just like the flap hanging down. And it's like missing like the miscellaneous logos and stuff like that. And it came with like an extra gun that's like super painted and detailed, sort of out of focus.
That's nice.
It's crazy. Like they need to step it up to where either they make more of them or something. I mean, I would rather definitely support, get the original, like from Hasbro or whatever. But sometimes you just got to do what you got to do to get these figures now.
Well, it also sucks too because we don't have Toys R Us anymore, and Toys R Us used to get a lot of the masterpieces like in store on the shelf, where like I used to see them all the time, but I wasn't doing bots at all, so I passed on all of them for decent prices, and they got to go back. They got to find some. I don't know if it's going to be Target or I really hope not Walmart. But someone's going to have to step up and start being more into having all the whole like full line.
GameStop, ThinkGeek,
yeah.
FYEs.
There's not enough FYEs.
No, there's probably going to be like ThinkGeek, GameStops.
Yeah, ThinkGeek maybe, but they're going to have to open a lot more ThinkGeeks. I think that's going to happen anyway, though, because I think GameStop, just because they're doing so bad. The GameStop end of that company. ThinkGeeks are gonna. If you're gonna see more, you're gonna see GameStops turn into ThinkGeeks, or you're just gonna see them opening up more.
True.
What is the problem with Walmart? I never could find anything in Walmart
because they either don't order it or they don't. The stock's just in the back and nobody cares about it.
I thought they had the slogan though. Now we're bigger toys. We have more toys or whatever.
They're talking about dildos.
Probably, yeah.
They did expand their toys. The thing is it's not action figures. It's like little toys and stuff. Yeah, it's not, or it's like Nerf guns, and like things that we're not necessarily looking to collect. I know they got more Lego too, and they have like cases for Lego. I've noticed in a lot of
They have tons of Hot Wheels too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's hit and miss depending on the area that you live in. So like I see people on both of the coasts posting pictures that they're finding all kinds of stuff at Walmart. In the Midwest, man, it's still the same old Marvel Legends, same old Transformers.
Well, it's certain parts of the coast because I'm not finding anything at my Walmart. And I mean, West Coast, some of the West Coast is finding stuff, but also too, well, at least in Washington, it's so cutthroat. There's so many collectors there. And also there's so many people who just buy it up so that they can ship it somewhere else. So it's tough. Like it's like feast or famine. And
like that whole Studio Series wave, the Optimus, the Bumblebee Optimus, man, I haven't seen. People have been posting how it's out about. I'm like, where? Because it's definitely not in my area.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it at all. I haven't seen Jetfire. I haven't seen from the Studio Series. I haven't. The only one I've seen is the green Jeep, like the World War II Bumblebee. I saw it once, and I kind of wish I had picked it up because I haven't seen it since. It was immediately gone, I'm sure, right after.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I don't even really like the Studio Series that much. Like, I have a couple, but I mean, there's a few that I liked, but I passed on, and I wish I hadn't. But then there's some that I'm just probably never going to see. Yeah. Except for $100. So who knows? That's why I'm not bothering with it. It's because it's not like, at least the Siege stuff has shown up somewhere. Someone's seen it that can at least grab one for me. Like the Soundwave, I'll probably never find it. I'll probably never find. Like I still haven't gotten the Optimus. I've seen the Optimus twice, but I still don't have the Optimus. I'll probably get him at some point, hopefully. But I have Megatron.
All I got was like Hound and like Sideswipe.
Yeah, which are two. Honestly, those are like two of the best ones. So, although this Ironhide, if you like Hound, you'll probably like this.
Dude, that Ironhide is one I was about to pre-order off of the Hasbro's website. They had them for like I don't know if it was a glitch or something. They were like $9.99. And me and Nate Simmons were about to order a bunch of them because they had like all of those ones up. And then all of a sudden they like wouldn't let the order process. And all of a sudden they said sold out. And then they fixed the price. And it was like, dang.
I heard a bunch of people got them for that price though.
Oh, then they just must sold out that quick, I guess.
I bet they did.
Probably a bunch of people buying it at the same time.
And putting them on eBay.
Yeah. Because I talked to somebody who got like the entire first wave and I think they got the entire first wave for $9.99 on Hasbro Toy Shop, and then when Pulse came out, they got the whole second wave for $9.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I was pretty much like, awesome. I paid retail, so cool.
Do you have a Hound close by? Can you show the size comparison of Ironhide Hound?
Yeah, he's on my shelf. Let me grab him.
For some reason, I thought Ironhide was a little bit bigger than the deluxes, which is why I asked if it was a Voyager size.
He's slightly taller, but yeah, he's bigger. He's actually, so you can see, like he's
okay. Oh, yeah. Nice.
Like yeah, he's a little bit taller and a little bit beefier, about the same weight. But just the face.
Yeah, the face is so good.
And he's not like, and if you look at him, I mean, he's not like, he doesn't have like a bunch of hollow spots. I mean, he has a little bit, but like,
that's what bugs me about the Prowl is that they're the same price, yet the Prowl has got way, like, the backs of his legs are hollow, his wrists, his hands or whatever are hollow, sort of thing.
Well, I mean, there are some spots. His wrists are hollow. And he does have a spot in his back that's a little hollow. But I mean, for the most part, I mean, also for the price, a lot. I mean, if you grab a Titans Return Chrome Dome, and check, I mean, it's not as good, or like, like Blot. If you hold up Blot to like one of these, it not just. I mean, and that's a Power of the Primes. And that was not as good. So you can just tell that the detail, like the painting just little stuff. I mean, the little touches that they put onto it. I mean, the paint on the guns. I mean, the gun alone is just, the paint is ridiculous. I mean, they just
slick.
Yeah, on his, like, look at his feet.
You stepped in bird poop.
I was expecting you to say he was walking through white paint or something, Arthur.
Oh, it's like
you're talking about like if I said like bukkake or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they've just done so much better with these. I'm glad I got in on them when they first came out. Like I'm glad I didn't wait like 6 months and then I'm like, oh, how am I gonna get a Sideswipe or how am I gonna get a Hound?
Mm-hmm.
So
you come talk to me because my stores have the old stock still.
Really? Do they still?
Yeah.
They're not here at all. Like the first wave, the only one from the first wave you can find here is Skytread. Skytread's at like 2 of my Walmarts. Just one of them. So that's like the one that no one wants. I don't have it because I don't like it. I just don't like it to eat.
It's just honest. It's like I don't want it.
Yeah, if I find them for like $5, I'll get them probably. Just to play with them. But yeah, like I'm gonna pull Chromia out and see how Chromia does.
Yeah, I'd like to see a size comparison with her too. If she is about as tall as.
She's smaller. Like you can tell she's smaller. She might be as tall as. She's as tall, I think, as Ironhide, but she's definitely like her. She's a lot smaller.
Hmm.
But her detail is really good. I can't wait to pull this one out so you can see the detail on her sculpt.
Yeah, the one thing that I don't know, I'm still not sure how I feel about is, um, they made the figures smaller, but then they kicked up the price point to $20 because that seems to be the sweet spot for Hasbro on a lot of figures, $20. But even what was it like 6 months ago, they put out that survey to kind of get a feeler for would you pay more for better packaging? Would you pay more for the figure and a build-a-figure piece without and less accessories? And I'm like, man, they're just really trying to figure out where they can make the most money based on what fans are wanting to do. So it's, I'm sure they took a lot of that information that they got from that and applied it to all their brands. So, they're like, well, I mean, don't get me wrong, the packaging on the Siege figures looks great, but I don't keep them in the packaging. So to me, I'm like, I don't care about that. It should be like $15 for these figures. I think they're all about $5 to $10 too expensive. And then they even developed a whole new class, like a size class for, what was it, Jetfire or whatever.
Yeah, the Commander class, just so they could have a $79 one instead of
Yeah.
just a $50.
But you also got to look at it this way too, is where they're doing that $20 because I mean nowadays with how money is and stuff, I would picture a parent giving their kid a $20 bill and being like, here you go, or something as allowance, or, hey, you're going out, here's $20. So probably instead of going wasting on junk food or going to movies or whatnot, it's like, hey, I'll just buy a toy.
I don't know, man. I still feel like the people who are buying the toys are not kids.
Yeah. It's probably my false hope of just the hoping that kids would get back into toys like they used to.
Well, I think that it's just, in general, it's action figures. Just action figures are dying for kids. So,
right.
but they still want to make them because they know they can make money off of them. So, but they know that they're not selling to kids for action figures.
Well, with kids, you don't see a lot of action figure commercials anymore, so therefore they're not going to directly market to them. I don't even think they can anymore.
They're not allowed to, I don't think.
Yeah. So that's another thing right there where you would have the kid market, because my grandson, he looks at every single cartoon that commercial that comes and said, I want that when he's watching the show, but you never see any action figures being shown. So I think that's a market just they can't tap anymore.
Yeah, I think they just understand that it's not the 80s anymore, and the kid. I mean, they can't come out with a cartoon for every action figure. It's just
no, sir.
They just can't do it. Yeah, Chromia is definitely cool.
Oh God, look at that nasty backpack.
Yeah, that's the one.
Can it pop off without breaking your figure?
No.
Nope.
Yeah, but that's the
pass for
I
me.
think that's the issue with all female bots or whatever in general, is that they transform into cars, but then in the cartoon they're all svelte, and there's no way that you can hide that much vehicle, and they're all shell formers for the most part. So.
If you can have Shockwave have a part of his thing turn into like a hoverboard or whatever stupid gimmick they were doing, they should be able to allow you to take that backpack off of them.
Yeah, speaking of that figure, man, I know a lot of people are giving it hate, where they're like, it should have been a Voyager class. It doesn't need to be the leader class. $50? Is that what it's at?
Yeah.
But then when you look at that figure, the figure itself is a Voyager class, so that's a $30 figure. And then the extras, like what you're saying that they gave, is the same amount of plastic as a deluxe figure, so that's the $20 where it comes into. So granted, do I think that for the diehard G1 people probably won't display it with that, but I don't know. I think it looks kind of cool. Like
when he has it on, it doesn't look too bad, but like him, just like the idea of him just like on a hoverboard type thing. Looked a little goofy, but the figure does look really good.
Because I think they're doing the same thing with, was it Skyfire, Jetfire? Like, I don't think that is an $80 figure. Definitely think it's probably closer to the $60 range, but then it's coming with that extra $20 of plastic that you can arm him up or whatever. And I'm like, I don't know. I could kind of go without it, but it still looks kind of cool.
I'm still gonna I still want that Shockwave. I'm still gonna buy that Shockwave. I'm just gonna wait until Amazon has a sale for them or something.
Yeah.
So let's see this figure, man.
Honestly, now that I'm I mean, you could probably pass on Chromia.
Oh Jesus!
Well, I'm just looking. I mean, it's not because I'm not saying she sucks. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying for like casual. Okay, so casual bot fans, probably just go Ironhide and just like it's all right. I do like the backpack. I mean,
yeah, you can't even really condense that down. She's got wings.
Nope.
Like,
got wings.
You can't fold it up on the sides.
No, I mean she's got weird though because she's got good articulation, but you can't like. But it's just like I don't know. Also, her feet.
Is she really back heavy?
Yeah, she's gonna fall over. You're gonna have to hunch her.
Oh, that's not good.
And she come with like is it a gun or is it just like a beat stick?
Oh, comes with grenades. She has grenades.
Oh.
And then you can also attach them to her gun, and her gun can be like in different forms. Because they're trying to do more weapon.
It's not a gun.
It's not a gun.
Look at her. Here it is over this. It's a Cybertronian vibrator, bro. You got the different heads, the different attachments. Yep, exactly.
Okay. Moving on.
Being weaponized.
What was it? Was it season 2? She shows up with the other female.
I think you're going to say a fembot.
I can't remember who was the one that she was hooking up with, or like, was it?
Was it RC, the pink one?
Yeah, there was. It was the one that Alita 1 shows up in. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've seen the episodes. I'm sure people in the chat are probably like, "You're a dummy. It's so and so." But I had a feeling like, was it Hound, or it was either Hound or Iron? Maybe that's why she's packed with Ironhide.
Maybe.
Can't remember who it was.
But there's going to be a third party company that's going to end up finding a way to fix that backpack on her.
Oh, they will, because all these Siege figures are probably going to get upscaled, and then all the paint issues that people have with it, the weathering or whatever, and she'll probably be able to, like you were saying, probably be able to take it off of her back and not have it even be a thing.
I figured it out. She can stand up. You just gotta get her knees just right. So
still looks good though. I mean, like, as long as you're not looking at her from the back, like front wise, it doesn't look too bad.
Well, she looks great. Like her robot body's great. All they needed to do, honestly, this piece, if they had just like found a way to peg it in so you can transform it and just put on a piece, it would have been fine, even as a shell former. But yeah, it's you have a tail.
Transform her into her alt mode. See how does that look?
All right. Well, let me see if I can figure out her alt mode.
Why are you asking him to do that on camera, man?
Yeah, I'm not good with the transformations for some anyway. Some I can get real easy. Like the side swipe is super easy, but
well, that one was pretty intuitive though.
Yeah, this one, oh damn, this one this one looks ridiculous. All right, well
Just I am him pictures.
Yeah, just send pictures whenever you do.
But I mean,
is there anything else y'all want to cover?
Nah, man, it's late. I mean, we've been doing this for about 2 hours. It was a lot more than I was expecting because I was really like, man, I was like, we're only gonna have so many people. Are we actually gonna be able to pull this off? And we did it. So,
did Ryan drop out? He just decided not to.
One of his friends got rushed to the ER or something. So,
oh man,
definitely positive vibes and prayers his friend's way, because that's never a good thing to hear. Be like, because he was really excited about doing this stream, which we will be aiming to do more. And if you guys that have been watching or are watching it after the fact like this sort of thing, comment down below, let me know, because I can just transfer it over and just have it be part of my regular thing on YouTube. So just trying something different. And that's what that's what the Plastic Cannibals are about. Just like a lot of people don't know who the Plastic Cannibals are. All the links and stuff are going to be down below. But this is basically a good chunk of Plastic Cannibals. I mean, we look out for one another as collectors. Nobody's scalping. We just want to talk toys, have a good time, and help each other out.
Definitely. I'm just going to screw this up completely and not get it.
So, I mean, what do you guys, any ending thoughts you guys would like to say?
Yeah, don't charge ridiculous amounts of money for new figs. New hyped up figs don't need to be $100 over retail.
Like people still selling that Mystique for like $25-$30 and have like 60 of them. It's like, you do realize Walgreens still has their sale going on, right?
Man, I've lost count of people just trying to. Oh, the turtles! I still see the turtles going for dumb, like the movie ones, the movie GameStop ones. I still see people trying to get hundreds of dollars out of those ones.
Are they getting it though?
No, of course not. They're just not. I mean, well, actually, I shouldn't say they're not, because I'm sure it's all private. When someone does say like, "Hey," you know when people know they're overpaying, but they don't want anybody to know that they're overpaying. So, hey, I'm not making fun of them. It's true though. Like, just like when I'm doing a trade, or at least not with any of you guys, but like if I did a trade with someone like in some of the other groups, like I won't do it out in open, because if somebody else wants it who can get it before me, they'll get it. Like, say, a YouTuber that will nameless, that maybe will use that I'm a YouTuber, so you just trade it to me instead, type of thing. So,
man, I wish I did that. No.
Well, I mean, it's happened to me a few times where people have been like, "Oh, hey, like I've got this, this particular whatever it is up for trade," and then I'm like, "Hey, yeah, I'm interested," and I'm pretty much Joe Blow compared to somebody who's got like 12,000 subscribers, So
yeah, that's crappy.
Yeah, and they gifted it to him instead of trading it. They gifted it to them. Okay, that's cool. I was gonna give you for it, but whatever, it's happened a few times to me. So,
well, that's why we got this group now, so you don't have to worry about that stuff. So you got everybody across the world, across the United States, trying to look out for one another. And we even have like Dan W. He's from the UK or whatever, and he's always willing to help people out too. Except that international shipping is just killer.
Oh, yeah. Like when they figure that out, so that it's not, an arm and a leg just to get something overseas, then, be much easier.
Yep.
And that's where I think a lot of the people who are selling Mystiques or any of those, Walgreens exclusives, they don't have Walgreens over there. So I don't know where they're getting their figures.
And all kinds of stuff. They got other stuff.
Dan W. ended up getting the Target. I think he got Mystique too. Yeah, he got them. And they just don't have they're not exclusives over there. I think he could just get them. So he ended up getting the Target one before us. He got Mystique before us. and like he's like, hey man, he's like, if you need one, he's like, I can just snag one, I'll mail it to you. It's just got to pay for it, and it's just overall the cost just didn't make sense. I can't be one of those YouTubers that can spend a ridiculous amount of money to get something first. I just sort of gave up of trying to be that first guy to have everything first and be the first to review it. Just doesn't make sense.
It's just keeping up with the Joneses at that point.
Right.
Like, honestly, I didn't think I was going to get Mystique at all because my Walgreens are terrible. They're trash. They pretty much, when they get exclusives, they get like one or two. And I think that I think someone camps out there too, or just has a buddy on the inside. Because I've never seen Thing's never been at mine, and Mr. Fantastic was never at mine. Magic, they got one. They got one Magic. You see other Walgreens where they got like 20 of them still, and mine got one. So
and it results back to these groups that are like honestly legit. Like you're in your area, you can only get so many, but then what? Ernest, you found a bunch. Post in the group, hey, anybody need one? So, I mean, that's the awesome thing about it. It's like we try to help keep the distribution going where it needs to go without anybody paying like ridiculous prices. Like, I mean, thankfully, where are they at? Art G, you guys know Art G. Everybody knows Art G.
Mm-hmm. I need to get him on one of these.
I messaged him today, see if we can fill him, toss him in, but it's such short notice. But he helped me out with these. Thankfully, Paul, you said you didn't need this one.
Yeah, but, yeah. He actually hit me up because all I did was comment. Man, like I can't find those anywhere around here. I wasn't telling him to get me. I didn't think he was going to get me one, but he got me one, and I was like, oh. And then after he got it, I was like, oh. Well, I just got hit with like a bunch of pre-order stuff, and I was just kind of like, oh man, if you need me to buy it, I'll buy it. But he was like, oh no, I think Art wants one too. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, and then that's why I reached out to you because I was like, man, I want to make sure because I'm not stepping on anybody's toes. But around here we had those packs, but then they never went to clearance like that. And then his area got them, and I was like, man, I need them. He snagged both and shipped them to me, and now I have those part of the MCU collection that I have. But yeah, anything else? I guess we're going down the line. I guess Ernest next.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of. I mean, I'm really kind of just. There really isn't anything that I'm in the market for until the new stuff comes in. I'm still excited. We were talking about how our Walmarts are good and bad. I haven't seen any of the Kingpin wave yet hit my area. I have not seen
the Kingpin wave though. I don't think that's been like. I think the distribution on that. I don't think that's fully.
They're hitting Walgreens.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it there either. I check pretty often, and you guys know me. I like to wait till that stuff goes on clearance, even if it hit my area. Then I'll just wait it out because
can't with that one, man.
You might be right. I mean, I haven't seen it, and two, it is a pretty hot wave. So
I'm hoping that wave is kind of like the Vulture wave, where it kind of disappears for a long time and then it's going to come back. I think it's going to come back later this year. I think when we're looking for like the X-Men wave or the next Avengers wave, I have a feeling that that's the wave that we're all of a sudden going to find.
I hope that is for people. I hope they can find it for $5. I hope Ernest can get the whole set for that. But
well, like that the Sauron wave, that wave, I only saw at GameStop, and I was like, there's maybe a handful of figures that I would pay GameStop prices for, and then the other ones I'll just pick them up online, or if I see them go on clearance. And I figured at that point, I was like, my Walmart will probably get them in any time, and they never got them in. So it's just kind of hit or miss. So
I got the Sauron wave, most of it on Amazon for clearance prices, like $8 or $9, except for the only two that I paid retail for were the Bishop and the Omega Red. Everything else I got for less than $12.
Yeah, that Laura Kinney Wolverine, man. I ended up my GameStop. The manager there was really nice. She ended up hunting it down for me, and I ended up getting that one. But yeah, it's kind of a toss up. I know, like, a lot of the areas, in different areas, they get all kinds of stuff, but then they don't get certain other figures, and I'm like, okay, they must all be coming to the Midwest because it's all I see. So
the same thing kind of happened with the Cole Obsidian wave here. The Cole Obsidian wave came out like real quick, flashed at like GameStops, and then like it seemed like every GameStop got like half of the wave, and then it disappeared, and then Walmart got it for like a second, and when Walmart got it, I jumped on it because I was just like, I don't know if we're gonna see it again. Now it's just a pile of wasps and Ant-Man.
Yeah, I got almost the whole wave just peg warming at one of my Walmarts. It's just kind of, I'm waiting for that clearance when the new figures come in and they knock them down from I think it's like $18 a figure or whatever down to, they usually drop them down to like $12 or $10 or something like that. So
yeah, the only one I got for cheap, like basically a clearance price one, was Malekith. Thank God, because I didn't want to pay full price for that one.
Yeah, did you own it already from the?
No,
wasn't he from the SDCC pack or something like that?
Yeah, I didn't buy that set. I only wanted one figure, or no, I wanted two figures out of that set, which was it Ulik and Boar.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted those two, but I wasn't going to pay for the rest of them. And it was too expensive. So that's something down the line. Maybe I'll find a loose one, a loose Ulik or a loose Boar.
Don't worry, it'll be re-released in a wave. That's
right. The next Thor wave. It's going to be all just, a 2-pack with Ulik and Boar.
Yeah, but besides that, I mean, for me, I wanted to give my money to NECA. I can't because none of their stuff is showing up in my store. So,
that's why we do those posts, man. You gotta let us know. Let us hunt for you.
It's one of those where, like we were talking about earlier with those NECA, man, it's one of those you have to see in person before you make the decision, because as awesome as they look and as awesome as other people posted it, there's too many QC issues that, from, what is it, the Machiko or whatever it was, that figure that you got?
Every NECA that I've reviewed lately.
Yeah. So it's
that Machiko is peg warming at every FYE I've gone to. But, I'm going to find that Machiko for 99 cents in 6 months.
Good. I'll need one to replace my broken one.
I'll buy one.
It'll break before breaking shipping.
Yep. Just to send to you.
Like I said, it just kind of, I'd like to give them my money. It's just, it's hard to.
Just send me your list, man. Send me your list. I know what with me reviewing all the stuff, I can make sure that you don't get some turd. Can't help what is behind the figure, like the back of the figure, but
yeah.
I can make sure, if there's something you're looking for, you want it to be clean and crisp. That's what I do. I have to deal with Tony's ass. He's all like, I need you to find this, and then I'll be like, I have to video, FaceTime him or whatever, show him every corner, every inch. I'm rotating the shit around. I'm putting a spotlight onto it. It's got to have that special glittery glint.
I'm not that bad. Don't try. Paul has gotten me plenty of things. I'm not that bad. Stop lying.
It's like this little kid sneezed on it. I can't. He's like, let me trade it with you.
I've gotten stuff from everybody on this live, and I've never done that to any of them.
but
I don't like the smell of this card.
Right.
It's sour. It's sour smelling.
You farted in your car with it in there. I don't want it. So.
You looked at this one funny.
Yeah, I'm more into like the. I kind of want to rebuild up some of the vintage lines that I only have a few figures on, and like some of the like G.I. Joe, for example. You know, I'm kind of hoping that Hasbro takes a page out of their other lines and starts re-releasing carded vintage G.I. Joes like they're doing with the Star Wars figures. You know what I mean? Like I would be in. You don't even have to do a 6-inch line, but if they were to re-release that as, I don't know, as some sort of like a legacy line or something like that, I guarantee you there's a lot of fans that would jump on that for the carded figures.
I feel like G.I. Joe right now is one of those hot collecting things now. You know, like I feel like everybody's getting into Joes again. Mm-hmm. It's getting cutthroat to find.
Yeah, I did do it was a Facebook bidding or whatever on I realized I didn't have Junkyard Mutt 25th anniversary on card. I was like looking because like see, there's a bad thing about having Tony come over and help you pin your shit to like, you know, all along the wall. Like I have a whole section over here and stuff like that. I was like, do I have a Junkyard Mutt? I run into my room, I'm looking around, I'm like, I don't have him. I need him. And so it's like now I'm trying to fill like little spots of the collection, and it's going to sound ridiculous. Shipped $24. I was like, what the hell did I do?
Wow.
For a carded figure?
Yeah. Mint on card, Junkyard Mutt 25th anniversary.
That's not bad. I mean,
not compared to what they were when they first came out, though.
Yeah, but you know, that's the fact that you still found one that's mint on card. That's ridiculous.
Would you like to discuss? Would you like to discuss some of the Motu classics that I'm looking at?
Yeah, that's
because I love $24 for a Moss Man, not $75.
Yeah, that would be
right.
Nice.
$200 for a Spider Hawk that was $8 in the store.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
Yeah, anybody want a Dragon Man?
Right.
You can get the KOs now.
Yeah.
KO King right here. AS Reyes.
So, but Tony, what do you got? What do you got for some ending words of wisdom?
I don't know about words of wisdom, but just like everybody else, I'm just looking forward to what's coming out this year. Spending all of my money, of course. Hasbro has me hooked. All of the lines look good, so I'm ready for that. And then I think I may dive into some import stuff a little bit. I see certain things, I dib and dab, and you know, I've never been really an import guy, so that should be fun to I know I see it. Thank you, Ernest, so much. And
I know exactly what you're talking about. Well, for real though, like when the one thing about that Wolverine, well, the two things that I don't like about it, which you know,
face sculpt.
I don't know. I don't think the face sculpt is that bad. It's the claws don't make any sense to me. They're like way too long. They wouldn't retract in his forearm. And that's a minor nitpick. But then the other thing is he has blue stripes on his body, which bugs me. Like that, like everywhere I've seen it, it's always been black. I don't know why it's blue. Like that bugs me. I hope they change that. Like they changed like the color of this guy from the packaging and the promo images to be
so much
like
better.
This darker look. But man, that Wolverine, those are the two things, if I had to gripe on it. Everything else looks amazing. I can't wait to get it. And then that Cyclops that they showed, I'm like, man, that is exactly what I want in a Cyclops. But I don't want the price.
Right.
Because I'm like, I know if I buy it, I'll be in it for the line, you know, for the whole X-Men line. And I'm already collecting them on Marvel Legends because the price point is where I want that price point to be. But man, not $100 a figure. That's
yeah. And I'm also looking to see what Storm Collectibles is going to do with this Mortal Kombat line.
Cyborg's got my money. Baraka's got my money. That Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat 3 is gonna get my money. Like,
it's gonna be nasty. So I'm looking to see what they do.
That Lobo.
I can't wait to see Storm Collectibles. Their Darkstalkers. They're doing Darkstalkers.
Yeah, those are gonna look sick too.
And listen, that Bane that they showed, oh my god, that Bane is gonna be nasty. I have to get that.
What about this Sagat that they're gonna be releasing?
Oh, dude, that figure looks dope. And I love this. I love that all of these ones that you guys are talking about are, I don't know, they're probably like 10 inches. I mean, they're huge because they're Storm Collectibles. They're already at like 7 inches, right? So,
and their articulation's awesome. Their joints are nice and stiff.
Yep, good.
Disgusting.
Yeah, I like it. I can't even try. I'll support them for a long time if they keep this up.
Yep.
What's their price point at right now? Well, originally, when they first released the line, their figures were like $60, 55. I can't remember.
It's still around there.
They're like 60, 70, depending on who you get.
The bigger figures are in the 80 to 90 range.
And then their exclusives can be up there because they don't really give a break to the sellers and stuff like that.
Did you see that recent drop that Bluefin had where they bought out Rain and Smoke and they were at the con price? Somebody had posted the link. I was like, "Are you serious?" I mean, they were the regular price. I paid at least 85 for both of them, something like that. They were on there for the con price for like $50-something.
Isn't Bluefin also going to have stores now? Like, aren't they making stores?
I heard something like that.
That would be good because didn't they bought out Bandai?
Yeah, I heard that they were gonna build maybe in New York and Los Angeles, some of the bigger cities. They're gonna build Bluefin stores, kind of like Toy Tokyo.
New York road trip, then. I'll go there for that.
That's easy money. Yeah,
they should. Well, they're showing up. They basically have a store in every con now. So, yeah. I mean, like, I'm going to Emerald City's in less than a week, and I'm going to see the Bluefin set up. That's probably going to be the first place me and Brandon are going to go hit.
Nice. Do they have pretty competitive pricing at the cons, or does everything go up in price when you go there?
No, last year you want to kick yourself, or I want to kick myself. At Emerald City Comic Con last year, they were selling Sub-Zero and Scorpion for $50.
Yeah, are you serious? Jesus Christ!
Yep, I didn't buy it, and I kicked myself today.
The regular version or the bloody version?
What's up?
The regular version or the bloodied version?
The regular versions. They were selling.
Wow.
Nobody wants that bloody version crap.
Yeah. Or it was 55. Excuse me. It was like 55. But
still, what's the deal?
Yeah, they had a sign. They had a little placard sign on Scorpion that said $55. Actually, I think if you go back and watch Brandon's video from Comic-Con last year, he went up and he's like $55. Like, what the he was like, there's no way that this thing's $55. And that's what they were selling it for.
Wow.
I think he bought his there. I'm pretty sure he did. And I was thinking about it. I was with him, and I was just kind of like him and Han, and I was kind of going back and forth, and I was in the middle of actually, because I ended up buying a Shadow Trooper, a My Show, the whatever,
nice,
the Japanese version of the Shadow Trooper, and I ended up getting him for $40.
Yeah, that line is pretty slick. I like all the designs that they've released.
Yeah, that's a $100 figure, and I got it for $40. Like, that's why, just like Bluefin's, like, you have to go, like, you have to find them at a con, because sometimes they just try to blow out their figures.
Overstock. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
They had I think last year they had Zangief for like $60, and he goes for $100.
I still need a Ryu, like a plain Ryu.
I have the figure arts Ryu, and I like him a lot. But yeah, the Storm one, I want the dark Ryu Storm.
Oh, the one that has the was it Street Fighter 4 face. Is that the one that I can't remember? Yeah.
Yeah, the Violent 10, it looks pretty good too. So, yeah, Storm's one of those, like, I like it a lot, but I keep putting it off, and I'm keep kicking myself because then it all gets really expensive. And I've had
that Motu line right there. It's that Motu. As soon as you can either buy it when it comes out, or you're gonna be kicking yourself later because the price, the resale value on those things go way up.
I have my I got my Ultimate Skeletor and He-Man. I just got Sorod from the movie. Like last week. Yeah, I've got so many.
I posted on the Cannibals page. You said you said you're in on that pre-order from Super 7 for the.
I haven't done it yet because it's open till the end of March.
Okay.
I got Comic-Con, but I guess I didn't know this. You have to buy the whole set.
Yes.
Just to get individuals.
To get the individuals. That's why I was saying to you when I was chatting with you, like, because I only want the gold Skeletor for real. That's the only one I want, but I don't want to buy the whole wave just to get that one.
Oh, the Golden God. Yeah.
Well, hell, if you guys are doing that, if you're going in on a full set, let me know, because I only want the He-Man and the Skeletor, the regular version. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna. What the thing is that because I'm going to Comic-Con, I'm gonna go and see how much money I end up spending there, which probably will be. I usually don't spend that much, but I usually spend a little bit, and then basically, and see kind of like what the master situation is there and stuff, and if I find some good stuff there, I might just spend it on that whatever I can get there, but if not, then I'll just spend the 140 and buy the whole whatever they call it, William Stout collection.
Yeah, well, that's where for me, I was like, man, I got to find somebody who's getting in on that one, because I'm like, the only reason why it's keeping me from buying it is because you have to buy the whole set, and I'm like, okay, I can save a little bit of money. I don't have to. I don't need it. Lord knows I don't need it.
No one wants Karg. That's the one that no. And it's like, and I actually want him because they came out with one, another set, and the colors were stupid and it looks ugly. So that's why I want this Karg, because this is the movie accurate Karg.
There you guys go. You can all go together and make it happen.
If I do it,
I know.
I'll let you guys know.
All right, sounds good.
We'll figure it out.
That Conan, though, I mean, are you getting in on that one?
So the Conan, I thought about doing the Conan, except for the Conan is basically just He-Man's body with a different head and a couple different, like they admitted, even Super 7 admitted, it's He-Man. It's a He-Man thing. And so that's why I'm kind of like, and also they haven't shown what the packaging is going to look like, so it might just be a crappy, for $35, you kind of want a little bit more to it. And I'm like, it's comic Conan, so it's like, it's not even like, if it was movie Conan,
well, that's surprising to me because it's comic Conan, but it's the Marvel run Conan, not like the Dark Horse, right?
Yeah, it's Marvel.
That's where I'm like,
it's the 80s, 70s Marvel, some 70s Marvel. Yeah,
I'm surprised that Marvel Legends hasn't gotten in on that.
Well, they have the licensing stuff is so weird. Like, they get around making movie Motu figures because it's called the William Stout Collection, and it's based off of artwork, the art designs. And that's why the He-Man figure can't look exactly like Dolph Lundgren. But then when it comes to like the Filmation figures, they can make the Filmation figures, but they can't make the original classics figures. It's so weird. Like how they got the licensing, I'm sure it's all money too. I'm sure they couldn't afford like all of it, so they had to buy sections of it. but also they don't have Ghostbusters. They don't have some of the other Maddie stuff. That was actual Mattel. Super 7's they're working their way around certain things. Like they're gonna start making, like, I heard that they're gonna make some horror figures too. That aren't.
Oh, that's awesome.
And they want to. Well, they're making Toxic Crusader figures.
Yep, I can't wait.
And those are gonna be awesome. Like, I at least want the Toxie.
Well, that's like how NECA is getting around their 2-packs of the Batman Predator or Batman Alien and Superman Alien 2-packs, is that those are going to be con exclusives. So I'm hoping one of the Cannibals is going to one of the cons where those are available, because I definitely want to get my hands on one of those.
Are you talking about the 2-pack with the Joker?
Mm-hmm.
The Joker looking alien?
Yeah.
Did they cancel that at one point? Like it was supposed to be at one, and they canceled it.
Yeah, they canceled it, but they showed it again. On, I guess it was a tease or whatever it was, that they may have the rights to do it again. So we'll see. Especially with the DC license getting distributed all over the place. So it's probably possible that they can do it now.
What they're trying to do is, before all those rights go to McFarlane in 2020, their best bet, I think, to get it out before then is at like a comic or a Comic-Con or something like that as an exclusive there. So
it'll probably be SDC.
Yeah, probably. That's what I'm guessing. Toy Fair at SDCC. Yeah.
Huge shout out to Jetson and the Tattoo Toy Hunter in the chat. They hanging in there.
Yeah, they've been sticking in there for this 2 hours and 40 minute
my Tom Brady.
stream.
Leave my Tom Brady alone, Jetson. Leave him alone. He's a champion, okay?
We gotta get the Tattoo Toy Hunter in here to jump on.
Yeah, we'll have to do it. Plan something out. But yeah, I guess we've been going for a while. Probably, I guess.
Yeah, I gotta go ahead and get ready for work tomorrow.
Gotta work, so we don't get that nice time that Paul's in. You know, was it only 7, 8 over there? 8?
No, it was 7 when we started. It's probably like 9.
It's about 9. Yeah,
9:41.
Still early.
So yeah. But definitely, it was a pleasure for, you guys to be part of this live stream and doing it through YouTube this time around. And, thank you, Judd and Kevin, for jumping in, keeping the chat live. Anybody that's watching it later, really anybody that was watching it, just leave some feedback, what you guys think. And do you guys like it when we go for like almost 3 hours? Do you need to be shorter? Comment down below. And make sure you check out all the links I'm going to be posting down there. And if you guys want to become part of that whole Plastic Cannibals family, find us on Facebook and put in the request, answer those questions. And, next thing you know, you'll be part of the Plastic Cannibals.
Probably need to do a better job at monitoring the chat next time.
Well, there wasn't. I mean, I was looking at it. It was a lot of Judd. Kevin got in a little bit later. And then there was a... where is it? I think a Riley was in there as well. Yeah. So Riley B. Lynch. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, if we had Ryan on here, Ryan would have been monitoring the chat. So
yeah,
we're nothing without him. So
that's true. That's true. But yeah, thank you guys all for joining in and watching this live stream. I want you guys to all have the best luck hunting, keep on collecting, and have a beautiful day.